Hurt in a car? Call our sponsor, William Matar. 844-444-4444. With a focus on motor vehicle accidents, the team at William Matar has handled thousands of cases like yours. Let them help you get the money you deserve after a motor vehicle accident. Rideshare, truck, motorcycle, car, only call William Matar. 844-444-4444. Welcome back to this draft night installment of the Sabre Report podcast. My name is Jonah.
And I'm JP.
And it's been a busy few days. Last time we recorded, it was Tuesday night. Bowen Byram was in the process of still being traded, finalizing that move, and we went live and we talked about everything pertaining to that move. And even since, I mean, we still didn't have fully formed thoughts on even someone, I think, like Louis Crevier. I mean, I think we were mostly still in the thick of it, of just in utter disbelief that the Sabres were suddenly picking in the top 5 and they'd acquired a second round pick as well, and what that meant for everything. Crazy couple of hours there. But now we're a few days removed. A lot of rumors in the 3 days since. Some trades, both in and out of the Sabres system, and night one of the draft has been completed. And I would say, aside from the Toronto Maple Leafs taking Gavin McKenna first overall, I think the Sabres kind of had the draft pick of the night that at the very least turned the most heads. So it's been a crazy few days. Kekäläinen has certainly been in the mix of a lot.
It's been fun to be involved in so many conversations, so many rumors.
It's like, for sure too, like the Hellebuyck stuff was just out there. Like, They were in on it. They were trying to get that done.
Yeah. It's just been fun to hear all the rumors and to be involved in some of them, and then trades come out of nowhere, and then they kind of did what nobody expected them to do, which was pick both first round picks tonight. So it's been an interesting last few days, but obviously nothing will top what happened on Tuesday.
So here we are, and I don't. Where do we even start? Do we want to reflect on Byram a little bit more?
I think we should reflect on that trade. Yeah, we didn't even bring this up when you were talking about stuff we missed. Tuch was officially traded. Benson was extended.
Mm-hmm. That was coming up. I mean, that's true. We were going to talk about that, but that a lot has happened. So just before we get into that, I do just want to take this second to promote our Patreon, patreon.com/the Sabre Report. TSR patrons get access to a multitude of additional content, which includes ad-free episodes of the Sabre Report podcast, episodes, bonus the Sabre Report podcast overtime episodes. We did one last night, kind of talking about a few of these topics on the surface and kind of doing like a primer for the draft. And as always, we do in every episode, we field questions from all of our patrons. On top of that, live streams and a whole new bonus podcast, TSR After Hours, where we go more into league-wide news and, frankly, whatever else we feel like talking about. JP and Christian were talking about food for like 30 minutes on the last episode. So we have fun. Once again, that's patreon.com/the Sabre Report. Hope to see you there. All right. 3 days removed from Bowen Byram being, or I guess 4 days now. I don't think overall thoughts have changed, but is there any new thought path that you're now on that maybe you didn't bring up last episode?
I don't think about the trade specifically. I mean, like, it still shocks me that Chicago did that and they still haven't gotten the extension done, which I think is crazy. And it's looking like Byram's going to sign for like 4 years, $12 million maybe. He wants to get another big payday when he's 30, it looks like, which makes sense, but I'm still kind of surprised because I feel like if you have that chance to get that 7 or 8 year extension, you should take it. But what do I know? I think the only thing that's changed since then is while we were streaming, we really didn't know much about Crevier, didn't really talk that much about him. And now, everybody's seen some more stuff, heard some more stuff, and he seems like a guy. Like, I don't know, he seems decent. Like, obviously, I've only watched like highlights of him, but like for a big defenseman, he's mobile, he's fast. Like, I was just comparing him directly to like Logan Stanley because obviously that's a comparable. Once Crevier's 6'8", Stanley's 6'7". Like, Crevier looks so much more agile than him. Like, he's faster. He moves up in the play. I think they have a guy there. I mean, like a third pair guy. Even Jarmo said tonight that he will compete for that second pair. But I think it'll be a third pair guy, and I think it's more of a meaningful move than we probably gave credit to during our stream.
He's very more similar to Michael Kesselring. I don't even think it's just big right-hand shot defenseman with a howitzer. I think just the tendencies you kind of see, he's not very physical for his size from what I heard. He had like 120 hits last season, I think I saw. So like it's not like he's not engaged, but probably not the 6'8" bruiser. Maybe some are kind of imagining him as, but yeah, this is someone that Kekäläinen, maybe it's lip service, maybe it's not. He did bring him up specifically as somebody who would compete to play with Owen Power along with Olen Zellweger. So, as JP said, seems like he's a guy. And it's one that, obviously, now that the second round pick is gone, I mean, obviously, now you have Zellweger to show for it. But now that Daxon Rudolph won't be a part of the team for probably 1 to 2 years, I think, you might think returns on this trade maybe might take a while, but I think Louis Crevier could easily turn some heads next year. We'll see. We'll see how he fits in with the Lindy Ruff system. He could be not the key part of the trade, but just another. It could be somebody that we look at pretty soon and be like, man, I can't believe they basically got him as a throw-in.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was saying it then, but like Chicago fans were, kind of not like upset he was being traded, but they're like, yeah, like he's good. Like I saw one tweet, it was like he was the only competent defenseman we had last year. So everything I was seeing from them was good. It's not like, we traded Connor Clifton last year. We were like, okay, good, he's off the team. It's like they were like kind of upset he's gone and saying he's gonna be good. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's another defenseman for us, another third pair, a big guy that Jarmo likes. He's only 25, like another young guy. Like you compare him to Stanley almost directly because the size once again, like he's much younger than Stanley. I think Stanley's closer to 30. I think he's 28, so 3 years younger at $900K. So I think it's going to turn out. And if you're going to compare him to Custering, hopefully he just stays healthy going into the season.
All right. I think I want to speak more on Bowen Byram. I think a lot of it would almost seem like we were ecstatic to see him leave on Tuesday. And I want to set the record straight, especially, obviously now it seems better now that they have his replacement in place, and Zellweger seems like a very competent body to put in that role. But, Chicago is getting clowned upon for this deal. And I do think it's bad process. I think they did get rinsed in terms of the value of the deal. But, Bowen Byram was a really impactful player for this team this season. And even, at times at the brightest, when the lights were at the brightest. And do I think it was worth it in the end? I mean, obviously, no. I don't think that price justified the means, but I do think Chicago's a better hockey team today. I do think he's going to get his points there. He's going to get what he's asking for. And, I think if I was a Chicago fan today, I think, when the contract comes in and he's making like $11-12 million, that's going to be some more sticker shot. And it's going to be jarring, but I think your hope is this just the trickle effect that he has, that maybe he's the one taking upon the hard hits as opposed to Lev Shunov or, whoever else that they end up bringing in. And I guess if I'm a Chicago fan, I'm hoping it's a bit of a Quinn Hughes effect. Not that Bowen Byram is Quinn Hughes, but more so that, it was kind of Brock Faber was becoming a little overrated in Minnesota. Like, he was getting very poor results as their number 4 defenseman. But as soon as Quinn Hughes came in and you were able to slot Faber either into the number 2 role or on the second pair, you reaped the benefits of having him take on less responsibility. So for Chicago, I think that's my hope, that if I were a fan, I would hope that Byram coming in takes a little bit of the burden off Lev Shunov, who was a little bit underwater, and even like a Kevin Korchinski. So we'll see. I mean, it's obviously a big gamble, and Christian said it last episode. He does not, seeing a world where the Sabres lose this trade is tough, but doesn't mean it can't be effective for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, Byram's a great player. He'll definitely be missed. But at the end of the day, I mean, it came out like a day later. Jarmo said in his press conference, he just didn't want to re-sign here, basically. He wanted to be in one negotiate. Yeah, they didn't even negotiate. So it wasn't even an option, so it's good that Jarmo got ahead of it. He just wanted to be in one somewhere. He wanted to get paid, and that was never going to happen here. So Jarmo definitely made the right move to get rid of him and get the value he got if he just didn't want to be here. So, enjoy your time in Chicago. I'm glad he got paid, but, you're going from like a cup contender to one of the worst teams in the league. So if you really want to be a number 1, you're not going to be a number 1 on a good team, respectfully.
Yeah, Kekäläinen mentioned when he was on 32 Thoughts today that all this info that has come out about what Byram wanted out of another team, that being role and responsibility and whatnot, that this was known when he signed his 2-year extension last summer. But the Sabres, they tried multiple times. Friedman went on a tangent in his episode. Like, they tried so much to convince him to stay. This is the spot you should stick around in.
Makes so much more sense of why Jarmo was so vocal about him in his end of season press conference too.
He was trying to kick him in the ass a little bit.
Yep.
This is, and I went on it last episode. I like Byram as a player. I just explained why this could be good for Chicago. Maybe not that Byram's a great fit for Chicago, but that the ripple effect and the domino effect could make sense. There's not too many. I think Buffalo is the perfect situation for Byram. Being a number 4, being a complement on a pair, as opposed to being asked to drive a pair and drive, honestly, a team. When you're a number 1 defenseman, especially on one like Chicago, you're probably going to be asked to carry a lot of the team's burden. I mean, we see how much, especially, Buffalo's a bit of a special case because the top 4 runs the team, but you notice when Dahlin is in and out of the lineup, how much it's revolved around him. Even when earlier this season, anytime the Sabres would play the Canucks, and you would just see how Vancouver revolved their entire offense around Quinn Hughes.
Quinn Hughes was playing 30 minutes a night, it felt like.
Yeah. So it's not, obviously it goes without saying, your number 1 defenseman is important, but it's, I've never seen the number 1 defenseman vision with Byram. Now, obviously he believes in himself and he has the talent to do it, and he's shown the flashes at points in his career. He could have gotten paid in Buffalo. Especially when Kekäläinen was talking at the exit press conference, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my God, he's going to maybe give him $10 million. And I thought maybe that would be too much. And he might have even just like $9-10 million. I think Jarmo would have been willing to go that far, but Byram's ask it's in the 12s, it seems like. And even then, like maybe short term. So he's short term's not an issue, I think, with him if he were still with Buffalo. But the fact that ask was that exorbitant and they just so quickly, they knew that this was probably coming, but it stinks. I think he was this was the best fits, among the best fits in the league for Byram. So we'll see if he made the right call. It's on him now. He has the keys. Nobody is competing with him in Chicago unless Lev Shunov takes a huge step, or maybe they bring in somebody else. So it's on him.
Yep. We will see. But then I wish him the best. At least he's in the West. He's not in conference. So we'll see what he does. Chicago still has a lot to do to get better. And, I mean, they have the cap space to pay someone like him.
Have they done anything else this week?
I don't think so.
They traded Burakovsky today? I think that was it?
They traded, which he was just a rental.
Just what they needed, clear $5 million in cap space.
Yeah, they have $36 million in cap space.
They could go on a free agency spending spree, but like, what are you going to spend it on?
They traded away Jack Pridham. They traded for Byram and Jordan Greenway and traded away Burakovsky. That's literally it.
Didn't notice them at the draft tonight either.
Nope.
I mean, they didn't even trade into the first round, so.
No,
I don't know.
They have 2 seconds tomorrow, so maybe they'll do some stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Like they're like even like Byram wanting to sign a 4-year contract. Is Chicago like ever going to be good during that contract?
In those 4 years,
maybe towards the tail end of it.
Like if he was,
he's got 5 years there. If he sends this, he still isn't signing this extension, but he's got his current contract and then 4 more years. It's what it sounds like.
Well, it's kind of what's so confusing about why they were so desperate to do this now. Like, a lot of what was being said was, well, they've got 2 first-round picks next year. They've got picks left in this draft. It's okay that they can chase after. I'm just like, did they really have to burn a 4th overall pick? Where they clearly, we saw it tonight. Malhotra went 3rd. They could have gotten any one of Reed, Karels, Rudolph. Who the hell did the Rangers take? I'm blanking.
They took Krebs.
No,
right?
the Rangers took
Smits.
Smits. That's right, Smits. Like they could have taken any one of those guys, and then this is what they could. You could have. I know 82 games of suffering sucks, but why you could have just thrown a bag at Byram next year when he hit free agency, because that's what he was going to do.
Well, someone else would have traded for him. The Sharks would have got him. We would have had 9 and 27.
That is a good point. The Sharks were willing to give 9 and 27. Friedman brought up the Rangers were very interested. He never said 5 was on the table, but maybe it could have been at some point if it got to the end and they really wanted him.
Yeah. Call me surprised if the Rangers get a trade done.
Hey, they got one done.
What was the trade? What did they do?
Dorofeev.
Oh, yeah. They
paid him $11 million per season.
Yeah, I forgot that was them who traded for him.
Dorofeev is a great player, but man, is that really where the winger market's headed? That being signed a few days after the Benson extension it makes you sleep a little bit better at night. But I don't know. Enough about Chicago. Yeah, there's a lot of interest. It seemed like 9 and 27 would have been available, or not 9. Would have been 9 and 20. Would we have just gotten 27 back? I didn't think about it like that.
I think that's what came out. It would have been 9 and 27.
You think we would have? Man, could you imagine if we had 3 first-round picks and we still made every pick?
That would have been crazy. There's no way, right?
I think they would have. They didn't get any, Kekäläinen was saying how, it became clear this morning, nothing was going to entice them. And then 20 and 20, didn't seem like 20 they really got close with anything. They were willing to move up or move down depending on how the board fell. So I don't know. They seem pretty comfortable with picking where they picked. So not to jump ahead. So I don't know. But so ends Bowen Byram's tenure in Buffalo. Didn't mean to go 20 minutes on this, but
it was the biggest thing that happened this week. So
it was. I mean, jaws were dropped. The Sabres were given universal praise, which is just something that doesn't happen very often. And yeah, the Blackhawks were there were some holes poked in their strategy.
I forgot I have trivia for this actually. I think John was actually the one who helped me with this. But you know how this was the first pick in the top 5 that was traded since 2008, right?
Yep.
That was the stat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who was taken with that pick that was traded?
I do. It was Luke Schenn.
Yeah, it was Luke Schenn. Were you yeah, you might have heard that when I heard it. Or no? You just saw it yourself?
No, I do research.
Oh, you do research? Yeah.
Well, because I was looking, I went to see, was it for a player? Because they didn't say it was for a player. And no, it was a trade up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Luke Schenn.
So, yeah. Traded up to pick Luke Schenn. Worked out good for them, right? All right. Moving up in the timeline onto Wednesday nights. We get the rumor. We knew the Tuch sign and trade was percolating Tuesday night. If anybody listened, you'll know that I got a text halfway through the stream that like a Metro team, it kind of seemed like that's the direction it was moving. I did hear it was the Capitals, and obviously that's what ended up happening. And 8 years, $10.5 million for Alex Tuch. The Sabres trade him to Washington for 2027 third-round pick and the UFA rights to David Kampf. So yeah, Alex Tuch it's officially done. He's moving on.
Good value at the end of the day. I mean, like Radish got a 5th, and then we got probably like a mid-3rd. We ended up getting the Sharks 3rd, so
yes, especially, and that's the better 3rd, and
it was the Sharks or the Ducks 3rd, and I would say the Sharks 3rd is better.
And at the end of the day, you're just kind of trading for 38-year-old. You're trading 38-year-old Alex Tuch over to Washington, and well, if you go to year 8 of that contract, it's not exactly kind to the Capitals.
Yeah, this is a very good trade, or a very good contract for Alex Tuch. A lot of signing bonuses, pretty backloaded.
It's pretty bio-proof. This is a deal that the Sabres signing. If they signed this deal, it would have shown their desperation to stay competitive. Kind of how you're seeing Washington maybe have that same sense of desperation with their moves the past few days. It's a bad contract for the Capitals. It is. Getting out of it's tough. And but I doubt they care. They're caring about the here and the now. They got a good player. So how much can I really criticize it? I'm just trying to pull up the exact details. But Washington, kind of out of nowhere. Didn't expect them to stay east, let alone, I guess, Washington of all places.
Especially after they already traded for Kyrou. So they made 2 big moves on the winger market. Yeah, I am upset he stayed east, but at least it's not in division.
Let's see here. I mean, it sounded, because obviously he spoke to the media today, and it did sound kind of family related ish. Like they moved, like change of scenery came up, and I don't know. It was
He
interesting.
said it wasn't all
hear.
about money.
Yeah, like that was kind of it. Where I'm like, I feel like he very easily could have hid behind the 8th year stuff, because I don't think the Sabres ever were willing to go there. I want to say, was it Friedman that said something that led me to believe that? It never, I don't know.
And he admitted that the Sabres made a big push at the end. So I'm gonna assume we maybe got close to that 10 million.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think they got past the double digits?
I think they might have gotten to 10. I don't know if they would have gone past it. But like if we offered, let's just say 7 by 10, you end up getting an 8 by 10.5. It really just seems like that extra year is what he wanted. I can't really blame him, but I don't know. Yeah, it didn't sound like he was eager to come back. If it's not just about money, I don't know. Maybe there's something behind that. I will say, like Jarmo talking about it earlier this week, and this relates to the Byram one too. He seemed frustrated with both situations. Like I think he clearly wanted both back, but the negotiations did not go as planned for either. So
yeah, he used the phrasing of power move with Byram. He compared like what players are. I think he was kind of, because I think the question was phrased as kind of pertaining to what we see with Brady Tkachuk and
players
Dylan
go
Larkin.
wherever they want.
Yeah, that and comparing it to the NBA of all sports, where like obviously that's very prominent. So yeah, I mean, it's the Sabres have had the two of the biggest departures, and they're probably the only team to have 2 departures as big as they've had. And you know, obviously Byram didn't go to free agency this year, but he kind of did. So I can imagine being frustrated with that. But
yeah,
the Alex Tuch contract breakdown by year. Year 1, $10 million signing bonus. Year 2, $8 million. Year 3, $5.5 signing bonus. Year 4, $5.5 again. Year 5, $3 million, and then the last 3 years of the deal, $6 million signing bonus, $7.75 signing bonus, and then $6.5 million signing bonus. First 4 years have a full no move. 5 to 7 have a 21 team no trade, and then year 8 a 15 team no trade clause.
He will be in Washington for
that contract,
we'll put it that way.
He will be having an early retirement party.
Just in comparison to the Benson contract, which we'll obviously get into, he only had signing bonuses in the first 2 years of his 7-year contract, where Tuch is getting signing bonuses every single year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's fair, but I know what you're trying. I know the picture you're trying to illustrate.
It's more or less.
It was
a
symbolic move.
Sabres don't do it.
The 2 pieces of news kind of came within like an hour of one another.
Yeah, it's just Sabres don't hand out signing bonuses like that.
No.
I think that's probably part of what Tuch wanted to, which once again can't blame him. So I am glad Tuch got his payday. I know like I've seen a lot of fans upset not taking the hometown discount. Like he's got to go get his bag. He's been on like the best contract in the NHL since he's been here. It's one of the reasons he's wanted this payday so bad. I really don't hold any ill will for him to wanting to get a bag. So, you know, I wish him the best. I hope we play him in the playoffs, and I hope we can, take him out. Because Washington, I mean, they are going to be good. I mean, they're going to be a playoff team. They think they're in their window I think they are in their window right now. Tuch, Kyrou are around the same age. Logan Thompson's around the same age. Like, all their guys are like...
Strome.
They're all like 28, 29, 30. Like they're in the window now. I did
think their youth movement or the kind of separating themselves from that. I mean, look, you get Jordan Kyrou. I get you're gonna have to give up a good piece. So Connor McMichael leaving, that's fine. But like, just giving Hendrix Lapierre, just handing him over to the Penguins, seemed like a weird bet.
Yeah,
but I mean, the top 9 is pretty full. I mean, what, Tom Wilson's 32 now as well? Is he 32?
Tuch's 30, Dubois 28, Kyrie's 28, Wilson's 32, Strome's 29.
Man, just what a
Olivier's 29,
weird
Protus is 25.
What a weird pushing in of the chips. Especially when you don't know if Ovechkin's coming back or not. Not that like he's the guy you build around, but it's kind of like, I don't know. It kind of felt like they were building something. Especially, it felt like they were building somewhat around Ryan Leonard, Hendrix Lapierre, and Connor McMichael. At least having some sort of youth movement, and even like somebody like Rasmus Sandin on the back end and Timothy Liljegren. But no, I guess they want to go for it. I guess they see the East as vulnerable.
Chicken's 28. Probably only got like a few more prime years left. Thompson's 29. So yeah, I mean they're making a push now. So it's not like the Metro is the strongest right now either. So they can definitely take control of that division with the moves they made. So we'll definitely be on the lookout for them because I think they will be one of the better teams in the East. These next few years now.
Agreed.
I think it is crazy though. Like Alex Tuch is the highest paid player on their team now. He takes up over 10% of the cap. Like highest paid player, he's like a 60-point player. Like they don't really, as good as their team is and like how good of depth, like they don't have like a superstar forward.
Yeah, now that the deal is truly signed, I'm just, man, it's just such a staggering contract for Tuch, truly. Like, yeah, he turns 30 in what, a month? Right?
Yeah,
in
he is
back
30.
end of July. I thought
May
maybe
10th.
I'm confusing him with someone
May
else.
10th.
May 10th. Okay. Somebody turned. I feel like somebody we were discussing recently turned 30 at the end of July. It is, man. It's like they're gonna drop the puck next season. He's making $10.5 million at 30 years old. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a contract I'm glad I don't have to think about. Obviously, the Sabres are. Would you consider the Sabres a worse hockey team still? I would say yeah.
I still think so. I saw people arguing that we're not with adding, Helenius, Oslin, and Kulik back to the lineup. The Tuch void, it's still going to be there.
It's still there.
With adding the defenseman, like that's why I considered. Because at least your top six is, I don't know if it's better than last year. I'm not going to say it's better than last year, but like at least
I like
it's pretty
Crevier as
solidified.
opposed to Connor Timmins.
Yeah, but
especially
Timmins
if
is still going to be in the
another
lineup.
name.
So
let's hope not.
I would say Crevier compared to Stanley or Shen.
Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. So it's not that I'm happy to explore replacing Tuch. It's not a fun process. I'm sure the Sabres have run into the obstacles of that. I mean, we're, flashback a year. I need, the last 2 off seasons of Kevyn Adams' tenure, like if the trade, we were looking for that top 6 forward like multiple years in a row, and we were kind of hitting the panic button anytime we got through night one of the draft and that trade was not made. And we're in that spot now. I think we feel more confident because we know Kekäläinen's calling around, and it's not like, the defense is shaped up, the goaltending, even though we know they're looking at an upgrade, it's still the same goaltending duo that did so well last year, and even the forward group, like, the youth in the lineup is still, we imagine it to be, a big factor in what carries their success next year. So it doesn't feel hopeless, but at the end of the day, they have not replaced Alex Tuch. They have done so with Bowen Byram. They have not done so with him.
Yeah, and if we're going to, the last few years, we've shit on Kevyn Adams for just sticking with the youth movement and not making any big moves. I mean, Jarmo's in that same position right now with the forwards, so don't want to give him a pass, but he still is time.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. He never made a top 4 addition since Byram.
Well, I agree with the defense. I'm not. Jarmo's made moves, and he's made good moves. I still want a forward addition to somewhat
I think it's coming.
That's all I'm saying. If he
I think
doesn't,
we're pretty confident it's coming.
If he doesn't replace it, then he should not get a pass. But he's
No.
like you saying, like we know he's trying. Like Kevyn Adams always tried. He told us how much he tried.
Yeah, but like we didn't. I don't think we ever really heard about it. Maybe the Natchez thing was like the one asterisk.
We definitely did not hear as much stuff with the Sabres' entire camp throughout Adams' tenure compared to Jarmo already. So I agree with you there.
All right. Last news of Wednesday night was we finally got locked in stone. The news that had been rumored for quite a few weeks now. Zach Benson. They ink Zach Benson's contract extension finally. Benson signs for 7 years at $7.5 million per season.
It's a great deal. Great deal. Worth it.
Did you listen to 32 Thoughts at all today?
No, I know what you're going to say though. I know because
I brought this up. I brought this up too earlier. Friedman. First of all, Kekäläinen was on the show, which was a very insightful listen, and he's great. But they brought up the Benson extension, and I kid you not, Kekäläinen's first few words are how the Sabres messed up because they didn't extend Benson alongside Doan. And they did not do that because they were saving money for Alex Tuch. And why that's important is you can't go into next season with like a certain amount of money spent on the team. Like, think of it basically as like you have to be cap compliant with your extensions. You can't be like, all right, we're going to sign all these extensions and then we'll make the moves in the off season to, create that space. No, you got to be under kind of a threshold. And they never did the Benson thing because they were thinking, hey, we still want to sign Alex Tuch. Well, obviously, that did not end up happening. And I think Kekäläinen's kind of kicking himself because they, at the very least, probably could have gotten Benson below $7 million before the playoffs. And you know my thoughts. I mean, this Benson was a guy that they could have gotten for under $6 million, I think, last summer, looking at some of the comparable deals that were signed. So basically, we have Alex Tuch to blame. But if you want to go a step further, in my opinion, you have Kevyn Adams to blame because he didn't get that done.
Yep.
Or at least given any sort of clarity on that.
With that being said, though, it's still a good contract.
It's funny. It sounds like I'm talking it down. 7 years at $7.5 million. It's still one of the best contracts in the league, or at least it's going to become that it could become that as soon as next year. It's just funny. For me, I'm like Kekäläinen. I'm like, this is great. This could have been more. It's like watching your stock slowly dip and buying out. Oh, it was at this. It was at this price. Could have bought out, made a huge profit. I'll let it dip a little bit, and then cash out then, which is basically what happened.
Yeah, it's pretty universally accepted around the league too on how good of a contract this is. Yeah, I mean he's great. Waiting for that big breakout season. He obviously broke out in the playoffs and got national recognition. He was playing really good towards the end of the year too. You look at any of his analytical cards, I'll reference Jay Fresh. It's a lot of blue. His red is finishing. So if he learns how to finish, like he's going to be a very dangerous player. And like, if you even think about last year, like he finished with 43 points. He only played in 65 games. So he would have been over 50 points, probably around 55. With another almost 20 games played, and he wasn't at the top of the lineup the whole season. I mean, like,
no, I mean,
he was pretty up and down. Yeah, he was.
Was it on the first power play unit when he should have been?
Yeah. So as much as like, people might look at the production and say it's not there. Like, there's reasons it's not there, and even when he isn't producing, like he's still an impactful player out there. Like, it's pretty clearly like the eye test matches as much as the underlyings do match. And I think he's pretty universally loved since the playoffs. There's only very small section.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm
listening to this. I don't think you have to convince our listeners that a Zach Benson extension's good.
That's a fair point. It's a fair point. I'm waiting for that breakout.
Yeah,
a full year on the top line, he's gonna have like 60 points.
Yeah, I mean now that Tuch, obviously we expect the Tuch replacement to come, but I think the playoffs, the guy, he was point per game in his last, he went pointless in the first 3 games of the Boston series, and I think from there on out he was basically point per game in the playoffs overall. Got more responsibility on the top line or on the top power play unit, which is something I'd been begging for kind of all season. Like Jason Zucker was not my pick for that top unit; it was Benson, and also Doan on top of that. So with the improved opportunity, they're even if like do you think their replacement for Alex Tuch? What are the odds it's going to be better than Alex Tuch right now? It's possible. I mean, he's not this irreplaceable, untouchable player. I mean, a 60-point player that is within the realm of possibility to acquire, especially with, I don't know, somebody like an Alex DeBrincat or someone. Obviously, everybody goes to Marchenko or Robertson.
I feel like at this point, it's lower chances just because you had your first round picks to use and nothing got done.
Yeah. So the chances maybe they acquire somebody as good as Alex Tuch right now are maybe low. It doesn't mean they won't get a good player. I think they'll still get somebody very good. But I think Benson's going to be looked at as somebody to replace that, and that means more puck touches. That means more points, and I think with those points, this contract is going to quickly become it's going to put itself into the conversation of being one of the best in hockey. So props to Jarmo. Getting Zach Benson and Josh Doan signed to under $15 million is very nice work. Those are your top 2 wingers. So, yeah, not bad.
Yes, it is. A lot of the conversation, too, about replacing Tuch internally has been with Hellebuyck, Oslin, and Kulik. Like, Benson or Doan is going to take over that top line right winger role. So it's likely going to be one of those 2 anyway, especially if one of them breaks out even more. So we'll see what Benson and Doan can do in their next year. I mean, it's crazy. We got Doan at age 24 and Benson at age 21. They're like just about to hit their primes. It's going to be so fun to watch those 2.
Mm-hmm. All right. That brings us to draft it, unless
David Kampf.
Yeah,
quickly mention.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, David. We didn't touch on him with the Tuch stuff, and I'm a little confused by this because the moment I went to, I think it has to do with the fact he's an expiring contract. When the Sabres acquired him, everybody pointed to him as just being a contract slot to swap with Tuch's. And I went to Puckpedia, and I believe the Capitals only have like 39 of 50 contracts signed.
Yep.
So
38.
I thought, 38. And on top of that, you go to comps, look at some of his advanced stats. He's a good player.
Good defensive player.
Nothing happens while he's on the ice. That's basically what happens. He does not want the puck going in the net on either side of the ice, and wins face-offs too. I saw that, and I'm like, okay, this fits. So I thought, especially given his projected contract was under $1 million, I was like, all right, this makes sense for the bottom 6. Kekäläinen kind of shut that down tonight. He didn't say they wouldn't sign him, but he was kind of like, oh yeah, that was just done for the contract slots. So I'm assuming it has to do with expiring deals. I don't know the ins and outs of the cap with stuff like that. So I'm guessing there's a very easy answer within there that got me confused. But I would keep him respectfully. I think if like David Kampf was in your playoff lineup and on your 4th line, he might be your best 4th line player. So I probably would re-sign him. But oh well, it's not the end of the world. You got Sam Carrick to be your 4th line center, and then you can just find. It's pretty easy to find 4th line wingers in the league.
Yeah. I mean, they already have Kozak for 2 more years, and he'd kind of be a guy you might push on the lineup if you re-sign comp. So, I don't know. It's not that big of a deal, but it is interesting.
Yeah, it is what it is. So, before we get into today's ongoings and the rumors that have happened in the past few days, I just want to take this second to mention our sponsor, William Mattar. If you're hurt in a car, you can call William Mattar, 844-444-4444. With a focus on motor vehicle accidents, the team at William Mattar has handled thousands of cases like yours. Let them help you get the money you deserve after a motor vehicle accident. Rideshare, truck, motorcycle, car, only call William Mattar. 844-444-4444. So, you want to do rumor stuff first, or maybe should we stick with the actual moves of today? I feel like that's why people are tuning in, right? It's the draft episode. Let's talk about what happened today. 45 minutes in.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. So, Byram gone, Tuch gone. The Sabres have some voids to fill. And around 1 o'clock today, after multiple days of rumors that never materialized.
There's never really any defense rumors, I felt like. I mean, obviously we're going into the...
I mean, there was... I think Pagnotta had mentioned at one point Carlo was a name that they discussed with Elise once again. I mean, that dates back to last year. So I think when the wheels were spinning, it kind of I thought for a second maybe Carlo was the guy, but after a few days of mostly forward and goaltending rumors, we were kind of left in the dark. We didn't know which way the Sabres were going to go with their replacement or replacements to supplement the loss of Byram, but around middle of the day today, that began to change. The streets started to talk. It became clear that a deal was happening with the Ducks. Kind of felt like everybody got word of that. Everybody was kind of getting wind all of it at once.
Yeah, it's funny. I guess, I mean, at least for our internal circle, you knew it was happening. Someone else knew what was happening, but it seemed like everybody on Twitter already knew before it was announced. So
everybody knew something was happening.
Around.
Yeah. It was like I knew something was happening, and then I was doing some dot connecting, and then when the dots connected, I asked for like final confirmation. It became pretty clear it was Zellweger, and yeah, I got confirmation on that. Hence the quack tweet. So,
but yeah, it seemed like everybody had it.
Everybody kind of got wind that something was happening. So that was a fun 20 30 minutes. But the Sabres make their choice on the quote unquote Bowen Byram replacement, or at least it's very easy to see why that would be the case. Olen Zellweger? I think it's Olen Zellweger, because people were like, oh, I can't wait to see people call him Owen constantly. Olen Zellweger from the Anaheim Ducks, the 2021 34th overall pick. He went 2 picks, or no, was it the pick after Anton Wahlberg? I believe Wahlberg. Anton Wahlberg was the first draft pick of the 2021 second round. Zellweger went the very next pick. And in return, the Ducks get Anton Wahlberg and the 45th overall pick from tonight's, well, I guess, the 2026 draft, which will be used to make a selection tomorrow. So, Olen Zellweger, the 5'10", 22-year-old. This guy, you want to hear something crazy? This guy was born 7 days after me.
That is pretty crazy.
Left shot defenseman.
I'm going to correct you. I knew it wasn't Wahlberg, and this isn't to doubt you. It was Poltapov.
Poltapov, that's what it was.
Then Zellweger,
yeah, you're right.
And a few picks later was Josh Doan, too.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought
Doan
was
37.
That's
Zellweger
right. Yeah.
was 34. Poltapov was 33.
Because I looked at that today. Well,
yeah.
In any case, the Sabres could have taken Zellweger back then. They went with Poltapov, but now righting the wrongs of history, and Olen Zellweger is a Buffalo Sabre. Trade value-wise, how do you feel about it?
Trade value-wise, I feel great. I mean, this 45, I mean, it's a second-round pick, and Sabres just hate their second-round picks. They really do. Sabres never make their second-round picks, and I mean, you got it as a part of the Byram deal on top of the 4th overall pick. It's not a throw-in, but like when you consider we already got the 4th overall pick, it kind of just seems like a plus. So the second round pick doesn't bother me much. And Wahlberg, like, he was pretty promising when we drafted him. Everybody was pretty excited. And even I think when he came over to the Amerks for like the one playoff push, everybody was pretty excited. But I think since then he's kind of just leveled off.
There's been some stalled development.
Yeah. Nothing like too promising. Maybe you just need a change of scenery. But it didn't seem like he was developing to the player that we were maybe hoping.
It wasn't.
I think I saw someone say, like, yeah, he's still projecting to be like an NHL player, but he's more going to be like a bottom 6 kind of guy, where you were kind of hoping he would be like a middle 6 guy before.
I kind of think it was still that always. I think it was just he was maybe on the higher. I'm trying to think of like a player comp. I don't know. My mind goes to Michael Rasmussen, but that's probably pretty. He kind of sucks. So I guess maybe like a more competent Michael Rasmussen. But I think that was always the hope. But I don't know. Wahlberg's development stalling is weird because, I mean, first of all, the Sabres have had a very good track record of their draft picks going through Rochester. At least, from the center side of things. And it wasn't due to a lack of opportunity. I mean, by the end of the season, him and, he was Consta Helenius's main center heading into their playoff series against the Toronto Marlies. So I don't know. It was I guess it wasn't. It wasn't going the way they wanted.
I think like looking at his point production just the last 2 years with the Amerks. 2 years ago, 63 games, he had 30 points. So his first full year with the Amerks, that's pretty solid. In 6 playoff games, he had 0 points. You'd kind of expect him to have more of a little bit of a breakout year, especially with the opportunity he was getting. And he had 37 points in 68 games. So he had 7 more points in 5 more games. He did have 3 assists in 3 playoff games, but definitely not the jump you were probably hoping to. He definitely stalled, and you didn't hear too much chatter about him down there.
No. But so there's a fun exercise that I think asking you in the trade return is, the Sabres gave up 2 seconds, essentially, in my mind.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, 45th overall and Anton Wahlberg, well, it doesn't feel like that. But I think, in a sense, in my mind, they gave up 2 second-round picks for Zellweger. Which, hey, for kind of a first-round talent, someone with a lot of upside, he hasn't even hit, 200 games in his career yet, and the under-the-hood stuff is pretty promising. So I'm very comfortable with what they gave up to kind of make this trade. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, you gave up Bowen Byram, Jordan Greenway, and Anton Wahlberg for Olen Zellweger, the 4th overall pick, and Louis Crevier. It's not a bad deal of business there.
It's pretty good.
So, as for Zellweger himself, as I stated, 5'10" puck-moving defenseman who shoots left. Does this sound familiar? Whose shoes is he replacing again?
Bowen Byram.
That is correct. I don't want to get Byram's height wrong. Oh, he's 6'1". Why did I think he was sub 5? I thought he was like 5'11".
I thought he was a little smaller too.
Yeah. In any case, here's your here's your Bowen Byram replacement. I know Kekäläinen was being kind of coy tonight, saying like Crevier could compete with Power for the spot. And I'm not saying he won't play with Owen Power, but I think that would be the case. They just want to split up Dahlin, Power, and Zellweger. Spread it throughout. This is your Bowen Byram replacement. You can look at the profiles. You can see what a Zellweger does very well. It is moving the puck. He's one of the fastest skaters in the league, which they really were hammering home. Was he the number one defenseman in like 20-mile-per-hour plus speed burst? I know the Sabres put out a graphic about that.
Might have been. I can pull it up. I know there's another list. I think he was like 5th on a speed list. And like above him was like Quinn Hughes, and I'll try and find the one you're talking about. But he's very quick. Like that's part of his game.
You can see
over 20 miles an hour burst, 6th in the league, 98th percentile. Speed burst from 20 to 22 miles per hour, 5th. I think this is actually just within defensemen.
Gotcha.
5th. But
otherwise, you would just see Beck Malenstyn's name everywhere.
Yeah, these are only defensemen that I'm reading. But yeah, sorry.
So they get themselves a very fast skater, one with a lot of puck moving prowess, and one who, he's got some finishing ability. If you kind of watch some of the clips that we put out there, he's had back-to-back seasons of 7 goals. It's kind of where Byram hovered. I mean, I think he hit 10 once with Colorado, and then he had the 11 this year, but he was kind of up and down, and you could see like he's got the release that can get him a lot of goals. And I think, if he was given what Byram was given this year in terms of kind of power play opportunity, like I could see him flirting with 40 points pretty easily. So, on the pro side of things, the offensive metrics as well, that's big for me. Like there's a lot more play driving that seems to be there than Byram. Our thing is always he can't drive his own pair. Like the offense, he's more of a finisher. He's a complement to the guy he's with. And that's not to say Zellweger isn't. It's not to say Zellweger is this play driving defenseman that's cheaper than Byram, that costs less than him. But I think there's a more solid foundation where I think you can maybe trust him throughout the lineup. Like I don't know if him and Timmins would be as disastrous as Bowen Byram, and Connor Timmins, but I would maybe I would be willing to bet that it would go a little bit safer. So I really like the move. I think it's a very good bet for somebody who still is only 22. I think he's going to be cheap as well. Like the most likely contract for him was projected at 7 years at $6.13 million. I don't think they're going to go long-term with him. I think they'll go bridge, and then if they bridge, he's probably going to end up in the $3 or $4 million range. So if, this gives them a Bowen Byram who I think can supplement what he did pretty okay at a cheaper price.
Yeah. Fast, good offensively, not the best defensively. It's just basically it's a cheaper Byram, and even Jarmo alluded to that. He said a lot of similar characteristics, so save a lot of money, get a similar player, younger player who maybe hasn't even broken out yet. Like Jarmo said in his presser that it usually takes defensemen like 200 games to know where they're going to be, and he hasn't even hit that yet. So he seems to be a good player. He's young. I was looking up their lineups just to see like who he played with. He played a lot with Radko Gudas, I believe, and I think he had pretty good metrics with them. Here's another lineup with him with Trouba. He seemed to be a lot on their like second pair from what of the few lineups I've seen. You do have to note he was scratched in the playoffs. I think from what I saw, it was mainly like he
didn't play in the Utah series or the Edmonton series. He didn't play a single game in it.
Yeah.
All 3 of his games were against Vegas. That was, because that's the other part of it. It's like, oh, this guy sounds so great. He's cheap. He's this and that. Like, how could he not fit in with Anaheim? Especially, especially like that team is so, like, he is such an Anaheim player as much as he is seemingly going to fit in with Buffalo. It's like, man, he's so fast. The offensive creativity. It's kind of like, why would they want to move on from him? And a part of me does still kind of question that. I mean, listen, they got a lot of lefties. You've got Jackson LaCombe, you've got Pavel Mintyukov, but I do wonder, like, are they making an effort to re-sign Trouba and Gudas? Because now they're all of a sudden, Carlson's gone, Trouba's free agency, Gudas is free agency, and now Zellweger. So I do wonder what Anaheim's thinking from this part of it.
I'm looking at the roster right now. They only have 3 guys who are actually signed: Lacombe, Drew Helleson, and Tristan Luneau. Right?
Oh, Luneau was
they
barely
have 2
in the
RFAs. Hins and
Mintyukov needs a contract.
Mitanov, yeah.
So, I mean, they're obviously going to keep him around. I mean, I guess your left side is still fine. Lacombe, Mintyukov, and Helleson, that's fine. But I do think this is. I guess I probably wouldn't have moved on from him, but clearly there was a disconnect. I mean, he played 76 games this year, but I mean, his average ice time went down 2 minutes season over season compared to last year. And then, once they got to the playoffs, suddenly they just didn't trust him. Didn't play in the Edmonton series as well. Obviously, they did just fine without him. And then he only played, I believe, the last 3 games of the Vegas series. Did come up pretty clutch with them, though. I mean, game 5, in the dying minutes, he friggin' wired one to tie the game and send it to overtime before Vegas ended up winning again. And then obviously they would go on to win in game 6. But I think it maybe just became a coaching thing. Maybe Quenneville just didn't trust him. And I think a lot of defensive deficiencies do come from the size. I think being 5'10", it's hard. We see that a lot in this league. It is hard to cover up those faults. But in Buffalo, you're not being asked to be the number 1, not the number 2, not the number 3. We just need you to be Bowen Byram. And Byram was never the most sound defensively himself.
Yeah. But he, at the end of the day, he's going to be, it looks like he'll be good at what we're good at. Moving the puck up the ice, getting involved in the play. Definitely seems like he will fit in just fine. We'll see how he meshes, if he meshes with power. I don't know. I'm excited. To watch him play. I'm excited to see how he is. He's still young. He could still have that breakout. I don't know. For the value, for considering it's a second in Wahlberg, like I'll take that any day of the week. The one comparison I was thinking, like obviously we trade so many second round picks. Much rather trade a second round pick for Zellweger than for Beck Malenstyn. I feel like it's a pretty stark difference.
It's not ridiculous.
45 versus what, 34 too?
But wasn't it like the first pick of that round, or
it was like the first or second? I thought it was 34. Maybe it was 33.
Did they get that second from somewhere? I forget.
Yeah, I don't know.
I do have a final note on something that can maybe help Zellweger get to the next stage of his career. Pick a real number. 51. Like what are we doing here?
Craig Rivet.
No, Craig Rivet was 52. And even that was a horrendous number.
Damn it. I don't know who I'm thinking of then. Yeah, 51 is a weird number.
Yeah, let's fix that. Number 4 is open.
Number 4 is open. Should we mention his other Sabres connection? With our former GM?
No, that wasn't. He wasn't connected like I thought he was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. Excited to see him play. I don't know what you think. I feel like they're done with defense now. I know it seemed like there were still rumors around defense, but I feel like they've kind of shored up their guys. Lindy loves Timmins. Jarmo mentioned they have 7 good players, mentioned Metza and Timmins specifically. I I feel like they have their 7.
I think they're going to sign someone.
Like who?
I don't know because the market is getting shored up. Like both Brett Kulak, or I guess like Kulak was a name I was maybe looking at for the Sabres to sign, and then he goes and signs a 5-year deal with the Avalanche today. So I am struggling to think of left hand. Like I'm thinking of maybe another lefty. I guess because I think Zellweger's in their top 4 for the most part. Those are the 4 they're gonna ride or die with in the playoffs. It would be my guess. But I guess maybe they could sign another right-handed guy. But then again, like you have Crevier, Timmins, Metza. I think they need another decent name. I think. So, I don't know. I'm quickly trying to filter over to the defensemen. Now, obviously, you got Trouba. Carlson seems Tampa bound. Jamie Alexiak would be interesting. Yeah, not a lot. Not a lot there. Nick Jensen. Oh, Connor Clifton. Could bring him home again.
Connor Clifton. Hey, Rasmus Ristolainen's name's still out there.
Oh, that's a good point. I wanted Ottawa to do something dumb for him.
Yeah.
Could still happen, but I still feel like it doesn't feel complete. Like I know this might sound weird, but they don't have the Logan Stanley replacement.
What do you mean?
Like I feel like they need somebody for the bottom pair on the left side.
Guess so. I don't know. They don't really care about handedness.
Well, that's my
their
point.
Their entire top 4 is going to be left-handed defensemen, then their bottom 3 players are going to be right-handed defensemen.
I don't know. What are do they circle back with Logan Stanley?
Hope not.
I don't know. I mean, there are.
I guess I'll put it this way. If they sign someone else, fine. I don't think they should invest significantly in this next one.
No, I don't disagree. Like you're probably looking at like a $2-3 million defenseman.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I think they should sign another defenseman. I guess we'll see whether or not they actually do. All right. So on to the NHL Draft. So after the Bowen Byram trade and after the previous Michael Kesselring trade, the Sabres all of a sudden held 2 picks in the top 20 of the drafts. And I have to ask, JP, if I would have asked you this morning, yesterday, the day before, what were the odds you would have placed on the Sabres making both picks?
Very low. I was pretty damn confident they would keep 4 and trade 20. Like I was telling people today who were asking me, I was like, yeah, they're gonna trade 20. I'm pretty confident, but they're gonna pick at 4. I'm very surprised they made both picks.
Well, you spoiled it. Yep, the Sabres would go on to make both picks. They stay at number 4. They don't deal it for Connor Hellebuyck or Matthew Knies or anybody else. They keep number 4, and they also keep number 20. 20, I was surprised. I knew they were pushing for a trade, but they stayed put, and they also made that draft pick. And it seems like that draft pick was like set in stone months ago, going with Morozov, which is funny. But it's also funny because not only did the Sabres make headlines for drafting 4th overall, or getting the 4th overall pick from the Byram trade, I would argue they made the pick of the first round, not named Gavin McKenna, that at least left people talking. The Sabres, with their 4th overall pick, and it should be mentioned, there was a lot of smoke around Caleb Malhotra over the last few days. Kind of seemed like if he got to 4, that the Sabres would make the pick it would be him. It would be him at 4 for them. The big center. He goes 3. He goes at number 3 to the Vancouver Canucks. And then all of a sudden, the wheels start turning. You're like, oh my God, Chase Reed's there. You could go Carson Corrales. You could go Albert Smith. You could go whatever. And the Sabres take the stage. First, it's Dion Dawkins and Josh Doan. Then it's Thurman Thomas, who mistakenly calls it the NHL, or that he calls the NHL draft the NFL draft by accident. But then he reads off the draft pick. At 4th overall, the Buffalo Sabres select Daxon Rudolph from the Western Hockey League, the Prince Albert Raiders. And I have to say, as somebody who was in the room with JP as the pick was being selected, am I allowed to share your reaction?
I wasn't too pleased initially.
I believe the words were, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
I don't know if I went that far, but
I think it was.
I was surprised. Look, I'm not gonna say I knew much about Daxon Rudolph. I'm not gonna claim that. All the limited research that I did these past few days, it was pretty clear that Reed was viewed as the top defenseman, at least what I was looking at. That he was kind of viewed as the number 3rd overall kind of guy, one of the people that we know pretty well who's into draft prospects. He said he's 3rd, that Reed's definitely the best defenseman in the draft. But at the end of the day, I mean, what made me feel better, Reed was the 4th defenseman taken. He was in consideration, or at least rumors to be in consideration for number 2 pick, and then he goes 7.
Some people are calling him the best player in this draft. I don't agree with that. I don't ascribe to that, but I think
one of the videos I was watching were saying he's a 1st overall talent. It's just you're not taking him over McKenna or Steinberg.
Yeah, that feels wrong to me a little bit. I'm not going to act like I was deep into this draft class for the last few months, but I also wasn't not privy to it. It wasn't like I just woke up to the top few draft picks the moment the Sabres got 4th overall. I think 2 things. A, I don't think he was ever a 1st overall pick. I think McKenna and Stenberg are in their own tier. And B, he became the consensus best defenseman. It kind of felt like it was interchangeable all season long. And then sure, he pulled ahead towards the end, but I don't know. You saw mock drafts with Smiths going first. Corrales was my guy. You know that. At least the patrons know that. He was somebody that I talked about last night in our primer. I preferred Corrales before this pick, but I wasn't, I think, sipping the Reed Kool-Aid as much as everybody. I see it. I see the high-end talent and then the point production. It all speaks for itself, and and all the finesse. But I think I don't know. I never saw it. I wasn't as high on him as everybody else, I think.
That's fair. And even like I just said, our one buddy that we know who's into draft prospects, he even said Daxon Rudolph's a good pick. He wouldn't have been his top defenseman, but he's still a good player. He's still a good pick. You look at him in terms of defensemen, he had the best production among any defenseman in this draft. He had 78 points in 68 games in WHL, which was only 6 points less than Malhotra. Now this is WHL versus OHL. Chase Reed played in the OHL, he had 48 points. OHL considered to be a higher tier league. Am I wrong?
Yeah, it depends who you're talking to.
Fair.
I don't know. I think what's
he has production.
Yeah, but on top of that, I think he was a monster in the playoffs too. 27 points in 19 games. I know he was leading WHL scoring at one point throughout it. He was a beast. He's an incredibly good hockey player. I think it's kind of I don't know. I think this is kind of when people kind of were freaking out about the Buium stuff. Buium was 2 years ago, right? Wasn't he the Helen Use draft?
Pretty sure.
When people were like, "Oh, you," because remember the Sabres held the pick, or the Sabres held the pick, where the Sharks ended up taking Sam Dickinson, and the Sabres traded down to pick Helen Use at 14, and that pick that was used to select Dickinson could have been used for Buium, who fell down everybody's draft boards. This feels kind of akin to that. I don't think it's as bad. I think Buium was a bit more can't miss, but yeah, I think Reed's a good player, obviously, and I still had Carell's. He was, even to this point, I still would have rather had him, I think, than Rudolph, but it's all so close and interchangeable, and I like what Rudolph brings, and I think I'd be lying if I didn't think a little bit of this was that he was right-handed, as opposed to maybe a Carell's who was left-handed. So I think it came down to Rudolph versus Reed, and I think they just clearly, I think they preferred Rudolph. 10 out of 10 name, by the way. Can we get that out of the way? Daxon Rudolph? Are you kidding me with that?
Yes.
If Rudolph is a stud in the NHL, the jerseys are going to be flying off the shelves.
The Christmas themes that they're going to do around him, it will be awesome.
Yeah.
It would be great. I lost my train of thought with you bringing that up.
6'3", 206 pounds. He is a big boy. I know Jarmo was talking about in his presser, he's got some jam to his game, the grits, and
got some grit. Yep.
They do like that part of it, but what ultimately convinced him, or at least convinced the room, because Jarmo, I'll say in his post-draft presser, he really went into he was really discussing how he trusts his scouts with this whole process and everything.
He made it pretty clear that Jerry Fortin and his staff run the draft compared to himself.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up once we got to the presser, that he gave quite the vote of confidence to that staff. But I think what he really made clear was that they really like Rudolph's hockey instincts and his IQ. They just think he's a smart player. They think he makes the right decisions, which I think with Reed, there was probably some questions about that. I think he definitely falls a bit into that category of he is, if he booms, he booms. There's some mental stuff maybe to figure out there, as opposed to, I think, Rudolph.
Yeah, I remember what I meant to say before, that it came out after when people were discussing it, and it might have been some insiders talking about it, but it seems like the public was a lot higher on Reed and a lot lower on Rudolph compared to actual NHL scouts. That picks 3 through 10 were a lot closer than the public really thought. So we'll see.
Yeah,
he's going to
sometimes.
Denver next year, right?
He will be at Denver. Apparently, it's only for 1 year, according to him. He'll only be there for a season. But no, he's headed to Denver. So playing under David Carl, that's a pretty good coach to go to. So could see him in some Final Four action next year. That'd be fun. That'd be really fun. Or Frozen Four. So that'd be very fun.
Yeah.
The only other thing I wanted to bring up, I just wanted to bring up Jarmo. I talked about how he saw him at the Hlinka Gretzky tournament last August, and was really impressed by him. But once again, he just gave all the credit, or he gave all the props to his IQ and his instincts. They really like that about him. And he did emphasize once again quite a few times that they are a best player available.
Yep.
Staff. So
yeah. So clearly he was
best player available. They think he was the best defenseman. They just do. It's clear. Yep. That's what they think. And I think because of that, I think they were confident they would still have gotten him. If they had made a Winnipeg trade where they got an 8th overall, I think they would have gotten him. Maybe.
I don't know. Do you think this pick has any effect on who we picked last year in the first round, Radim Merca? Like, I know the talk has been that he's gone and that he's been in so many trade rumors. Like, there's no doubt about
He's
that.
been traded.
He was literally in a trade, yeah.
He was traded.
But
he was traded.
Like, does this push him out the door even more, or does it have no effect?
I don't think it changes anything. I don't know. All of a sudden, like, you look at the right-hand side of their pool, it looks pretty damn good. You got Rudolph leading the charge. Merca's a nice, I think despite which maybe you wanted at 13th overall, it is a decent bet. And then, you got your Sturbacks who'll be in Rochester next year, McCarthy, even like an Adam Kleber. So, a few years ago it was quite the weakness. They had none of those guys, and I don't know, Komarov was the best option they had out of the right side of the prospect pool. So it's definitely a little bit more stacked now. I wouldn't call it a strength. I think there's still a lot of question marks in terms of ceiling, and I think most of those players are third pair guys. I think the only ones with top 4 upside are Rudolph and Merca, and even Merca's still, you need a big step from him this year if he's still in the organization. But I'd be lying if I said, especially now that the first round picks have been made, that Merca isn't one of their main trade chips over the next few days.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like they should at least feel more comfortable, organizational depth standpoint to trade Merca now that they have someone right behind him or in front of him. I mean, but picked after him and even picked earlier than him. So we'll see if Merca gets traded tomorrow or in the next week or two.
We shall see. All right, so on to the second pick the Sabres also made. There was some smoke with this one. I think ever since the Sabres acquired the 20th overall pick, I felt like you kind of saw his name attached to the Sabres a lot.
I think even just with our 27th pick, I felt like we saw his name a lot the past few months. The few things I saw, I definitely saw his name mentioned.
Mm-hmm. And the Sabres go with Ilia Morozov, the Russian forward who played this year in the NCAA at Miami University of Ohio. The youngest player in the NCAA. They were hammering that home on the broadcast, and it's for good reason. That's quite the impressive feat, and especially considering a really solid season he had. 20 points in 36 games. We saw this, or we had mentioned this when we were watching his films. He looks bigger than 6'3". He plays. I don't know. He just got that presence about him. He looks 6'5" or 6'6".
Yeah.
He is a very large human being.
I believe he got off to a really hot start last season. Then he cooled off. I think Jarmo even mentioned that. I do find it interesting, and it's part of his story. Even Jarmo mentioned how he has a great story. He's Russian, but he's been here since the 23-24 season. He played AAA hockey, then he was USHL. Now he's in the NCAA. So he's been over here for some time. It's not like you're drafting someone right out of a Russian league. But yeah, I mean, he's a young forward who's still developing and definitely has the attributes that can, turn into somewhat of a power forward.
Yeah, I mean, part of that good story was Jarmo, who he's gotten the chance to see him quite a few times because I guess his daughters both go to the university, so he's seen him quite a bit. But also just talking to his coach, Anthony Noreen, he cannot say enough good things about Morozov's character, specifically. Part of that trek over from Russia is when he came here, he could not speak English. He is now an A student in school, so he's either a very intelligent kid or he is very good at using ChatGPT. So I'm gonna assume it's the former, but I don't know. Kids these days, you never know.
I know his defensive game has kind of been praised. Like, he's a very defensively responsible player. Like, I think one of the questions was even brought up to Jarmo that he has a very good defensive game, and was asked about his offensive game, and he projects to be, a two-way center. He's already got that defensive game. He just needs to get that offensive game going a little more.
Yeah, it's much more like a much more higher, like Anton Wahlberg if he was a first-round pick. Big body, play center, two-way player. So, yeah. I'm just looking some other things listed, like Craig Button compared him to Jordan Staal. He does have an edge in his game as well. So, yeah, I like it. I like both draft picks. I do. I think, sure, the Rudolph thing, he wasn't my guy, but like he is their guy. And I think when you see, I feel like when you see a draft pick as strong as that, it can go two ways, right? Like you have your Tyler Bouchers of the world, where you go off the board. The Ottawa Senators picked him 10th overall back in 2020, and it's horrible, and it goes down as one of the worst draft picks of this generation. But you also have your quote unquote reaches that turn out just fine. I mean, I'm not gonna compare him directly to him, but this trend kind of famously started with Moritz Seider. I mean, he was, when Yzerman took him, people barely even knew the guy, and now he's one of the best defensemen in the NHL. But I feel like even more recently, you've seen the Ducks do that multiple times to varying degrees of success. Mason McTavish was quite the reach at number 3, and then so was Beckett Seneca. And one got traded tonight, but still for 2 first-round picks, so pretty good player. And then obviously Beckett Seneca was one of the best rookies in the league this year. So, I trust the Sabres scouting staff. I do. For the most, I trust their amateur scouts. They have a good track record in the first round. Their draft list, they've stayed very true to them over the course of the past 5-6 years. So, yeah. And, no matter what, nobody has proclaimed Rudolph as this bad player.
No,
nobody's calling this a bad draft pick. It's just, maybe he went a little bit early.
Yeah. And even just talking about quote unquote reaches at the time, Jarmo's kind of known for that too. He gets his player. Chinakhov was taken a lot earlier. So it's not out of the ordinary for Jarmo to stick with their gut rather than consensus.
I agree. All right. So heading into day 2, we will be sitting pretty patient until the 4th round. The 132nd overall pick, I believe, is when they draft next.
124.
124. 4th round.
Much better.
Yeah.
Is it time to talk about all the stuff that didn't happen, but all the rumors?
I think so.
Maybe
I'm kind of terrified we're an hour and a half in and we haven't even touched on this stuff because we could go
I'm excited.
a while. All right, so we are at the end of night 1, and it's also pardon me, it's gonna be a long episode, so hopefully too much of this doesn't become outdated. But obviously no other trades have happened. Honestly, great time to break a trade right now, Jarmo. Please do. Yeah, there's been a lot that's happened over the last few days that ended up not happening. So, where do you even want to start?
I mean, I feel like we should start with the one that seemed like it was most likely going to happen and even was talked about the most and could have happened today. Would have involved our 4th pick. I think the Hellebuyck one, that one stands out to me. For that one, it seems like there were, I don't want to say advanced discussions, but there was a lot of conversations around Hellebuyck, the Sabres, and the 4th overall pick. It seems like Winnipeg wanted 4th overall pick, a second-line center, and then a prospect. So it seemed like they wanted 4 Norris or Hellebuyck.
I think you're forgetting another key part. They wanted somebody to replace Hellebuyck.
Oh, yeah.
So, starting goaltender, second-line center, a prospect, and the 4th overall pick. Their ask
Hellebuyck
was ridiculous. Yes. For Hellebuyck.
And nothing else.
Not the 8th overall pick. Nothing. And it sounds like the Sabres got pretty damn close. Or I shouldn't say pretty damn close, but like they were willing to go the distance on their ask. They just wanted Winnipeg to include the 8th overall pick.
Yep.
And Winnipeg would not do it, which I think is absurd. I'm saying, okay, when we got to the Hellebuyck conversation a bit in the Byram episode, I was trying to argue within my own mind, like which way I leaned, and I feel the same way. I came to the same conclusion in that episode that I come to now. Connor Hellebuyck is not worth the 4th overall pick. I'm sorry, he's not. I am not. Like, he is the best goaltender in the world. He is also a goaltender. He is a 33-year-old goaltender, and also one that had a down year. I'm not saying that Connor Hellebuyck being on my team would not excite me. I'm not saying he is no longer the best goaltender in the world. I am just saying the 4th overall pick being used on a 33-year-old goaltender is it even borderline unprecedented? I feel like it is unprecedented. I was not comfortable moving 4th for him at all. I think it was a somewhat fair deal to have 4th overall and Luukkonen for 8th and Hellebuyck. Probably add more on the Buffalo side. You give him a redeemed Mertka. Maybe you give him 20 as well. I think, hey, 4-20, Luukkonen, Hellebuyck, 8. I think that's not too unfair. Winnipeg's ask was ridiculous, and I'm a little scared that the Sabres got really close. Like, they were willing to give up an Ostlund, a McLeod, that tier of player on top of a Mertka, on top of a Luukkonen, on top of the 4th overall pick. I'm kind of looking at this as a blessing in disguise if it doesn't happen.
I think it's probably. I think what you're saying is pretty much right. Like I think it's good it didn't happen. That's a lot. Pretty much everything you said I agree with, so I don't got much to add, but it's like that's a lot just for a goalie, especially when, like, look, I understand goaltending was maybe our downfall in the playoffs, but they were so damn good in the regular season. Like, I'm one who I don't think we need to upgrade. Hellebuyck is a completely different scenario, but that is so much. Like, that asking price is absurd. How do they think they could get all those pieces and not give 8 back? I was completely comfortable in even predicting basically the trade you were saying, 420 UPL for Hellebuyck and 8. If you want to add a little more on each side, like, fine. But, like, they wanted all that just for Hellebuyck and not even for us to get the 8 pick back? Like, are they crazy? Like they're another team. Like, so some of these teams, I feel like they don't know where they are, like, or who they are in the league.
It feels like you're negotiating with Doug Armstrong again.
That's definitely part of it. It's just like Chicago. They go all in for Bowen Byram, and they're not even in their window. Winnipeg, if it's not for Hellebuyck, like what they're getting, they're nowhere. Like, I don't.
Well, it's kind of like it's in a sense.
Like
it's
such a big
I kind of
ask.
feel like it feels like, to bring it back to the Blues, I feel like it's similar to how they're probably feeling about Peterka, just a little bit. Like, that one's not on Armstrong; it was more so on Peterka not waiving. But it's like, okay, he didn't waive. We lost out on having another first-round pick, and now this year he's off the trade board completely. And it's like, could you imagine being a Winnipeg fan and knowing you could have had a top 5 pick, a young center who was very good, no matter which one you picked, and a starting goaltender, and a good defensive prospect. For a 33-year-old goaltender who I don't think wants to be in Winnipeg anymore, really, and who also, like, I know they're still in a window. Like they go as far as he goes, and he had a down year, so they had a down year. So any year they could bounce back up to where they were when they won the President's Trophy, but still, like, this is. I know Hellebuyck is like, it's not easy to replace the best goaltender in the world, but man, I just would feel I feel a little frustrated that this was there for them, and all they had to do was, I mean, I know the 8th overall pick isn't nothing, but maybe they could have countered and asked for 20th overall or maybe 45th overall before it was traded. So, like I said, I'm a little happy that the Sabres did not go this route. I think, and listen, if the trade was made, you have Connor Hellebuyck on your team. You're still feeling good. You have the best goaltender in the world. Your ceiling or your floor is raised immensely for next season. And frankly, this trade could still happen. You never know. This could be something that gets talked about over time. I mean, I think, was it Friedman said, or maybe it was the insider trading people, like, Kevin Cheveldayoff doesn't want teams to kind of grind this trade out. Like, they don't want him. He doesn't want to be grinded. Like, where they slowly get each trade piece slowly taken out of the deal, and they kind of get hamstrung with a much weaker return. But I don't know. That might. I don't know. I'm frustrated with this a little bit on both sides.
Agreed. It also, I think it kind of hurt even more. Like, after the pick was made. It might have even been after 20. I think it was in between, though, that it came out that Hellebuyck would waive for Buffalo too.
That was I mean, that was Friedman, I think, that said that.
Yeah,
that he would have been willing to do it.
So it stings a little more. I think the Sabres offered too much, and I can't believe Winnipeg didn't take it. Like, I can't believe they just would not include 8. Like, they really thought they were going to be able to get the 4th overall pick, the 8th overall pick, a young center, UPL, and Radim Urtka. Like, I don't know how you don't make that trade in their circumstance, but whatever. I'm not going to disagree with you. It might be a blessing in disguise. As good as he is, that's a lot to give up over. I mean, UPL was good last year. Like, I don't want to say it's like a marginal upgrade, but it's like, goalie's a goalie.
I mean, it's like comparing.
Doesn't have the playoff resume either. Like, you just won the gold medal. Like, you got to factor that in. That's best players in the world playing the best players in the world, but he hasn't exactly been the best in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm frustrated Kekäläinen went as far as he did, and I'm frustrated that's still Winnipeg, because it just gives me no hope. Like, I just don't think this deal's going to happen now. Because, like, if that doesn't get it done, and now the 4th overall pick is eliminated from the equation, well, what's going to convince them?
I mean, even the 20.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be, then you're talking about your next year's first getting involved. Murtka probably still another. Yeah, I mean, it's just, unless Winnipeg lowers their price, I don't see that happening. I mean,
they were saying, and I don't think this is accurate, because I know of another famous trade that I despise that was made with this, but the last first-round pick used to trade for a goaltender was Ryan Miller. I believe it was the St. Louis Blues. When the Sabres dealt him to St. Louis, they got a first-round pick in that trade. Now, I think that's wrong, because famously at the 2015 draft, Robin Leonard was traded for a first-round pick.
It's outdated as of today. Sebastian Cossa.
Oh, Cossa, right. Yeah. No, that is funny, now that I think about that. Huh. But still, like, it's unprecedented for a goaltender to get that much.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I know the Sabres were kind of hamstrung back in the day, but Dominik Hasek did not get that much. The Sabres were fleeced on that. Did they get it? I think they got one first-round pick in it, maybe. I know it's not apples to oranges, but, like, I don't know. What did Patrick Waugh get anything? I don't know. I don't think he was worth the 4th overall pick. I would have been pretty unsatisfied with that trade return. You get Connor Hellebuyck, but it,
just would
I
have
don't want
cost
to keep
a lot.
restating over and over. Yeah. Like, I just, like, 4th overall and Murtka and potentially McLeod or Ostlund. I think that's ridiculous. I think that's ridiculous for a 33-year-old goaltender. If we're talking Connor Hellebuyck 3, 4, 5 years ago, much different story. But obviously not the case. So we'll see. We'll see if it evolves. I think they're still going to be talking to teams. Like, this isn't over.
No, other teams have been involved too. Like, I know Florida has made another push. I think someone else. Like, I'll put it this way: like, if we were to re-engage in conversations, it would cost a lot still. As long as he doesn't go to like Florida, it doesn't really bother me where he's going to go if it's going to be such a big package like that.
Yeah, I do wonder if we get to, like, if Hellebuyck is like, I don't want to play in Winnipeg next year, well, then we might have a Tkachuk Larkin situation where, I mean, obviously the Ottawa got good value for Brady considering the circumstances, but like, if a trade is going to happen, well, then a trade's going to happen, and the Sabres they'll be able to have some pretty good leverage. So I guess this is what annoyingly maybe one of the ones that drags on as the summer goes, but I don't know. I mean, just thinking about like the suitors. I mean, like, what does Florida have to give if they're not giving up Lundell?
Well, yeah, wasn't that the rumor that they refused to give him up?
Yeah, and the Sabres were. I mean, the Sabres are dangling 4th overall and everything else that we listed. What the hell does Florida have to match that? Lundell's good. I mean, very good player. They don't call him Baby Barkov for nothing. He's still like a 45, 50, 60 point center. He's better than McLeod or Ostlund for sure. But what else do they have?
They don't have any
that they would add on to that.
Like,
they
give
got
up
nothing.
all their seconds.
So it's like you'd be able to did they really have many conversation with them? Even Carolina, like Nikishin, I can see why that's an attractive piece, but their 1st round pick, which was being dangled, was I think for tonight's, and that was back half of the 1st round. So I know Detroit's been like a sleeper destination. I could see them getting crazy with an offer. New Jersey, maybe I don't know if New Jersey would be able to match the Sabres. I don't know who else is in this besides Buffalo. And even if the answer is nobody, well then Winnipeg let a top 5 pick kind of slip out of their fingers and plus and more.
I think they made a mistake.
Yeah, I do. And I think the Sabres avoided shooting themselves in the foot a little bit. But put a pin in it. See how it goes on.
Mm-hmm.
So the other name that was circulating, and this one could very well still happen because we are still waiting for the shoe to drop on who they're going to replace Alex Tuch with. Vincent Trocheck. A lot of smoke behind this one. This one became evidence, I believe, on Wednesday. We had gotten told that, it was because Pagno to bring it up first, I think. And then, we had heard it was real. And then I think Chetty Dominis has chimed in. Like, the smoke is real. They're in on Trocheck as well. That's a guy that very well could be added to this lineup. And, at the deadline, they'd been talking 1st round pick plus. I had gotten a text that maybe they were asking for Ostlund and a 1st back at the deadline. I don't know. It's another one of those. I don't think that's not the ask now. I should preface that. But it's another player where like a 1st round pick. It kind of made sense that like 20. I kind of was making peace with it that 20th overall was maybe going to go for him, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on Vincent Trocheck being a target for them?
I kind of connected. I didn't connect the dots. While I was going through players like a few weeks ago, he did kind of stand out to me, mainly for the fact that he's good at faceoffs, and we know how much of an issue. I mean, we know how much of an issue it is, but also how much of an issue the Sabres organization thinks it is. I was also looking at like this past year, his assist numbers are pretty good. We still need like a playmaker center who's proven in the league. I'm not surprised they're connected. I think the issue is, and I know you're gonna get upset right when I say this. It's like you bring in Trocheck, like is McLeod not gone? Like it's pretty. I feel like it's pretty repetitive to have kind of both of them on the team. Like they're both like I think ideally like on cup contending teams are both third line centers. And you already have a bunch of other centers. You still have Norris. You have Helenius, Kulik, Tage, Ostland, Carrick, Krebs if they bring him back.
So let's get rid of one of the best ones. Sorry, not to. JP and I had this exact same conversation on the Patreon episode last night.
Yeah, we did.
It's just moving McLeod just so crazy. Moving Ryan McLeod to bring in Vincent Trocheck is crazy to me. Like paying a premium for Trocheck when you have McLeod is absurd. If you prefer Trocheck over McLeod, I disagree. I disagree pretty strongly, but I understand that. The margin between those two players is not worth a first-round pick to acquire Trocheck. I know he wins faceoffs. I know he kills penalties. It's
pretty
not
good
even
power play too. He's pretty good in the power play.
Very good power play facilitator as well. Like he has strengths, but at 5v5, McLeod is 100% the better player in my mind. Trocheck has gotten a lot of opportunity with a bad New York team the last few years. He's produced. The raw numbers are fine. They're good. 59 points one season, 52 this past year?
53. 59 last year, 53 this year.
So I get it. I don't understand why the Sabres like it. There's just a few reasons. I don't like it because of the implication about somebody like Ryan McLeod. I also Trocheck, like Ryan McLeod, I think Lindy Ruff sees him as his third line center, maybe sometimes second line. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, he was the second line center. I think that's someone he never sees touching the first line unless there's injury. Trocheck, I don't know if that's the case, right? Like people talk to like, oh, he's a good third line center on a cup contender, can win faceoffs, kill penalties. I don't know if I would trust the Sabres to play him as that fully. I think maybe they see him as something more. That's what I would be worried about. I think especially, you get another right-hand shot forward, probably pushes Tage to the wing, and then it becomes, okay, who's his center? Maybe it starts the year as Josh Norris, but I'd be lying if I didn't think Vinny Trocheck would probably get his name thrown in there as well. So that's just why I don't like it. And he's 33, right? Or 32?
32.
32 years old. Like, I just fine player.
He'll be 33 in about a week or two. July 11th.
Fine player. Not somebody I'm trading a first round pick for, and not somebody I'm moving out Ryan McLeod for to bring in. I think this kind of makes sense. All right, that we were in for maybe a absurd, crazy day where there's maybe an alternate universe out there where they brought in Hellebuyck and Trocheck on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
That McLeod went out in the Hellebuyck deal, and then they flipped assets for Trocheck. I don't think that's ridiculous. I don't think those dots are too ridiculous to connect.
No, that's always how I saw it. Like I don't think they're trading McLeod for Trocheck, but I could have saw or maybe can still see them trading McLeod out as a part of another package and then bringing Trocheck in as his replacement. I don't think he's better. He might be better in some facets of the game, but yeah, I think this is one of the ideas that's kind of like hit or miss. Some people are really in on it, see the production, I mean, He's a gold medalist. He has had some good seasons 2 years ago or 3 years ago. 77
He was
points.
great for them. When
He was an all-star.
When they won the President's Trophy, he was a great player for them. I just look at the 5v5 numbers have kind of dipped the past 2 seasons, the impacts. So I think that's a worrying trend for any 32-year-old, and I think maybe he would kind of be played a bit over his head in Buffalo. But that's like you can't weigh hypotheticals too much, like just because my idea of what they would have him as. That's not fair to grade it. I think it's just acquisition cost, age, and I think the implication of what they would do the rest of the roster. I think that just worries me a bit. But like I said, that's not to say there would be no positives. God knows this team needs to win more faceoffs. Good penalty killer, good power play player. It's that part of it I understand. And this one could still happen. I think that there was still talk today. I don't know. It kind of made sense that the Wahlberg return would just in my mind, I think it made sense to have a first-round pick and a decent prospect for him, and that, in my mind, would have been 20th and Anton Wahlberg. So, Wahlberg's gone. They made 20th overall. Like, are they going to trade next year's first-round pick for him? That doesn't seem like the move you make.
They could still get some picks tomorrow.
Picks.
They could still get some. Levi still hasn't been traded. Could, I guess, trade up, but I definitely made the most sense to be like 20 and someone, especially since it seems like that's what Drury was asking for and his delusions over there in New York.
Yeah, they've it's been a week for them. All right. Any other rumors? I know we mentioned Carlo earlier.
If you mentioned Carlo, the nice conversation is happening again. It was. I don't know if it was second. I think
they're interested. I think they're interested. 4th overall was never on the table for Knies.
No.
Chalk that up to another example of that is not an asset I would want to be traded for. Like, Knies is not worth 4th overall. He's a great player, very good player. There's still question marks. Like, he produced, the raw points were there. His impacts were god awful, and he hurt his knee. And overall, like, what is he truly? Is he a player that drives his own line? Because that's what I want out of my. If I'm trading the 4th overall pick, as Kekäläinen said himself, it needs to be an impact player. Hellebuyck would obviously be that for between the pipes. I don't know if Matthew Knies is the player that would like drive his own line, like on his own. And it doesn't mean he has to. Like, it's still very good play. Very good players don't drive their own lines. Like I would equate, like, I don't know, like Alex Tuch was like right on the border of that. Like, did Alex Tuch ever drive his own line purely, or, like, if I'm trading 4th overall, I'm trading it for a Doan, a Benson, or like in the trade market, like I would trade 4th overall for Kirill Marchenko. Obviously, I would trade it for Jason Robertson in a heartbeat. Like, Knies is not one of those guys, and I don't think it ever got to that stage. I don't think they said, oh, the Sabres and Leafs have had conversations about the 4th overall pick. No, I think Chaika just wanted it, and he kept bringing it up, and Jarmo was just like, no. And then Chaika's telling agents or telling an insider, like, oh, we talked about it. It's like, no, you didn't. You talked about it. The Sabres had no interest there.
I think Chaika was just trying to see if us or another team were going to give a crazy offer for Knies, but I don't think he actually wanted to trade him. Similar to the Robert Thomas stuff with the Blues.
I would not have loved the idea of gift wrapping 2 top. They own the first pick, but giving another top 5 pick to the Leafs. That would have been a bad call in my mind. You know me, I don't care about trading with teams in division. That one's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. Another team in the top 10 that was talked about, Calgary Flames wanted to get up to 4.
Yeah, I was wondering how they would even.
I don't know what they would have given us.
Like, they have some play. Like, I like Matthew Coronado, but like they just extended him, not this past season, but the season before. I'm a big I love Blake Coleman, but even then he's kind of getting up there in age, and he was still fantastic last season, but he's kind of getting up there. Would he even waive for Buffalo? Somebody brought up Dustin Wolf, and I'm like, sure, but why the hell would they do that to move up 2 slots? I don't think that would have happened. I don't know. I mean, and maybe they really liked Michael Backlund. I don't know. I didn't really see the connection there. I feel would there maybe have been more picks involved? Would that have been a player trade? I don't know. I didn't see the logic behind the Calgary one. So,
agreed.
What else? Do we miss any other rumors? I don't think they're in on Robertson, just to clarify. I don't expect them to be in.
There's been no
that.
rumors about that.
They've done their due diligence, but I don't, unless they made a big shift, I wouldn't expect it, especially since I think the appeal for Dallas in a Sabres trade would have been 4th overall.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't see one. I think now you're back to talking about multiple of the young centers. Like, I mean, they want a huge friggin' package.
Yeah, they want a
as
huge
they should
package, and Robertson will choose where he wants to sign.
Yeah,
There's been 2 deals already that he's nixed.
I wish Jason Botterill was half as exciting as he's been the past few months with Seattle than he was in Buffalo. He never swung as big as Panarin and Robertson. Like, it's kind of funny he's gotten rejected twice, but still, like, where was this 7 years ago? What was the biggest swing you made closer to this? Mitch Marner was an offer sheet candidate. Why didn't you pick up the phone for that? Sorry, I don't mean to go back in time. I know it's not an offer sheet for Robertson, but
would you? Robertson's asking for like $15 million. Would you pay that?
Yes.
Like, he's
100%.
That's a lot of money, though.
I would go up to Kaprizov $17 million.
Jeez, that's a lot.
Robertson isn't just a great player. He's not just a first line. Like, he is a franchise player. I don't care about money in his case. Like, 17's my line, right? I won't go past what Kaprizov got. Especially like, hey, you have Zach Benson, you've got Josh Doan, Tage Thompson signed to these nice deals. Like, having those deal signs, they give you the luxury to go after a big ticket piece like Robertson.
Fair enough. It's still a lot of money. I really can't believe he denied the trade to Seattle, and then didn't he deny another trade? Wasn't there 2 contracts he denied?
Was there a second one?
I thought there was.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, at least that is crazy. I don't know if there's any other rumors. I'm trying to think. One that I know Christian was very in on, and I was interested too. Jordan Spence re-signs with Ottawa. I don't know if it's correlated at all, but like Jordan Spence extended, and then we traded for Zellweger. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
But there wasn't any smoke around that. I don't think there is really anything. I don't know. I'm going through group chats. I don't think I'm seeing anything else.
Yeah, I'm just Calgary Winnipeg stuff. Yeah, nothing. Colin Parayko off the trade market. I brought that up quickly earlier, but yeah. No, that kind of seems like it for now in terms of the rumor stuff. So, been a busy few days behind the scenes. I'm still like, what the hell, Winnipeg? Like, genuinely, like,
I don't know what they're doing.
Makes no sense. Like, imagine he has another like down year, like what that does to his acquisition cost.
I mean, especially if UPL was really a part of that package, like
he's a starting goal. Like, you've got a young starting goaltender in that package. Like, it's not obviously he's not Connor Hellebuyck, but what else did they want? I mean, they didn't want anything else, I guess. It was just they were so dead set on not giving up 8, which I think is dumb.
Yeah. Whatever. Probably for the best for us.
Probably.
We haven't talked about this guy almost at all. Only other, well, now that we got Zellweger, that's a RFA status that we'll have to figure out. But Peyton Krebs is still unsigned. I feel like it's notable, especially with what happened last year. I mean, it wasn't a pretty negotiation process from what we could tell. It was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It went to ARB. It went late into summer.
Well, yeah, because they had the effing Jeff Skinner money open till September.
Yeah.
And didn't want to pay Krebs like $2 million, or even what did he didn't even get that. That was more of an Adams thing, but yeah, it is. It is interesting. Kekäläinen wasn't even asked about him at his presser. I think people are anticipating he's going to be re-signed, but nothing really was brought up surrounding that. So, yeah.
I mean, they have $13.8 million in cap right now. I do think Krebs is important to re-sign. I mean, especially with how flexible he is. Like,
I do too.
I feel like they gotta get it done.
It's weird that like a player as quote unquote inconsequential as him. Like I do kind of think he is pretty important to the structure of their lineup and what he gives them in terms of lineup flexibility. So yeah, I agree. That should be one. You haven't heard anything about that.
No. And I'm like, I don't think teams could offer shit. I don't know, but like July 1st is when
for him.
I don't think so, but July 1st is when that can start happening. I don't know. That's just one. I mean, I love Krebs. I've always loved Krebs. You get that done. I mean, I think even Jarmo's mentioned one of his pressers. He mentioned Beck and re-signing him. I'm like,
yeah,
I just don't feel like that should be a priority.
You know my thoughts. I think I'm okay. If he wants a cheat, like if he wants a $1.5 million contract, that's what he's gonna get. But I'm aware he can probably go to the market. Like if we watched the Michael McCarron signing happen in real time. That guy got $3 million plus for like 6 years as a 33-year-old. Like that is somewhat comparable to what Malenstyn could get. So I'm not interested in surrendering $3 million to Beck.
No.
I don't know. I'm trying to look over the notes I had for the first Kekäläinen presser this week.
Another name that was brought up a little. I think really just Sabres circles. Jack Quinn name was thrown around a little, but then Jarmo went on 32 Thoughts and
kind of squashed
how much he loved him. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, listen, good glow up towards the end of the season for him. I still like, if we're in the stage of dangling Ryan McLeod to teams over him, I think that's a little ridiculous. But like, I like Quinn. I got no qualms. If we're not considering using him to upgrade the roster, I think that's a little bit of a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it. He's part of the young crop. I get it.
He's Seth's guy.
Yes, he is.
As is Beck Malenstyn. I was thinking this. I think while I was driving home, when I was comparing trading a second for Beck and trading a second for Zellweger, it's like we've really traded a second-round pick for a fourth-line player because Seth Appert was scared of him in the AHL playoffs the year before. Like, most ridiculous thing. And then even if you remember,
we're never beating the "we hate Malenstyn" allegations.
No, but it's just he's like a cult hero for his 1 year here, and I get it, but like I think his value's not as high as people say. But if you also remember, like Adams was asked about it, and he was like, "Yeah, like." It didn't seem like Washington didn't want to get rid of him, so that's why we had to pay even more. Like, are you kidding me? You paid more for a fourth line player because they didn't want to get rid of him? Just a whole saga in itself.
Absurd. Like, Kevyn Adams is so lucky Beck is as lovable as he is.
Yeah.
He's lucky he's not like Michael Frolik level bad.
Mm-hmm. He's lucky
Think about what that draft pick was used for. I mean, I'm not the biggest Cole Hudson guy, but genuinely, they traded an awful amount of value for him, and the pick was used for one of the better prospects in hockey. And people really don't care, mostly because the team's winning, and because he scores 6 goals. But that's funny.
Just funny. Speaking of
hopefully
Kevyn Adams,
Zellweger is the first decent player acquired for a second-round pick since I'm struggling to think of a name. Second-round pick
was Malenstyn, Greenway, Logan Stanley, and Luke Shen,
Connor Timmins, Jacob Bernard Docker. It's an all-time
Let's not bring
run.
that up. We want this to actually.
We like the Zellweger value.
Yeah,
That's what second-round pick should be used for. A 22-year-old second-round pick
who projects more to be projects more than a fourth liner.
Projects to be a good player. How about that?
Speaking of Kevyn Adams, he's back in his front office. Congrats to him.
Crazy nugget to drop at the Buffalo draft.
Just like I think the funniest part is too, we don't know when Kevyn Adams was added to the front office. I highly doubt it was today. He was probably brought in some time ago. The Boston Bruins traded for JJ Peterka today. Is that a coincidence? I really don't think so.
It's a dumb coincidence, or these two parties did not agree on a contract last year.
You know what? That's a good
One
point.
of these parties.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I think you were thinking of it as like, oh, this is he goes and got a Kevyn Adams guy. Like Kevyn Adams traded this guy a year ago.
That's a fair point. Pretty funny.
Yeah. Good for Kevyn. I mean, genuinely, when he left the team, I don't think anybody thought he was going to get another job in hockey. But then the team he built did what they did. He got a few GM interviews, or at least with Vancouver, he got one. And now he's back in the league, in the Atlantic. Boston. That snake. What do you think his role is? Do you think he's going to get an assistant GM? If he gets an assistant GM position, he might be a general manager again someday.
He might. I wonder if
Friedman
he's
just reported on it. He has not been officially brought in.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. I think he was doing like his kind of like Saturday Night Headlines stuff. I think it was in the same spiel he went about with Hellebuyck and the Sabres. But, yeah. Kevyn Adams back in. Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Good dude.
Good for him.
Good for that dude.
Got snubbed on GM of the Year votes. I'm putting it out there. He got snubbed. Somehow Jarmo, for just existing, got a vote.
He was not just for existing, okay? The Logan Stanley trade was bad, but the Sam Carrick trade was good, and the Josh Doan extension was good. That being said, did he deserve a GM of the Year vote? No.
Not even close.
Maybe. Depends how much stock you put into what he did to the roster over the summer. But
I guess.
Yeah.
I know, Kevyn Adams.
He was there, but
someone should have at least given Kevin one. Do you think, like, when they're looking, like, has anybody who's ever gotten fired ever gotten a vote for like a coach of the year or GM of the year? Like, are they even technically on the ballots because they're not as part of the team anymore?
Okay, I think the answer is yes, but not in the way you think. You're thinking mid-season firing. I'm thinking post-season firing, and then that coach, like who was the MLB manager a few years back? They got fired from like the Cubs or the Mets, and then they were named manager of the year, something along those lines. Like I think that's probably happened in the NHL. Maybe not winning the award, but I'm sure votes have been handed out. Mid-season firings, I think you would struggle to find one. I mean, I feel like if there was ever a case to give someone a vote while being fired, it would be Kevyn Adams. I'm not lying. I think he deserved a few.
He should have.
And Kekäläinen getting a second place one is hilarious. I wish they'd given him first place. That would have been funny. That would have been hilarious for the memes and the propaganda.
That would have been good.
Alex Jones would have been pulling every strand of hair out.
Yep. I think, I mean, this is completely divulging in what we were even talking about, but can we officially announce that we've won the JJ Peterka trade? Now that he's out of the Utah organization within 1 year.
We'll see. 2 first-round picks for Peterka is actually pretty solid value.
Yeah, I mean, that's true.
It's not probably what you wanted, but
I think it's just crazy that Kesselring and Peterka aren't
the two
in the
main
organizations.
Pieces.
Yeah.
Like the overlooked piece in Doan is, not only finds a home, but outproduces both of them combined. Had to have, right? Kesselring only had 2 points. And
but wasn't Peterka, didn't he only have I thought they had the same amount of points.
That's true. They were like neck and neck.
Let me see. JJ Peterka had 47 points. Didn't Doan?
Doan had over 50. Doan had over 50 for sure. And if you're taking playoff scoring into account,
Doan had 52. So yes, combined he did do
Doan
better.
That's crazy. Doan outscored Peterka and Kesselring combined. And now they're both dealt. That's nuts. It just is.
Josh Doan seen as the face of the franchise up there for the NHL draft alongside Dion Dawkins.
Yeah. Poor guy didn't get an invite to Bowen Byram's wedding. Messed up.
That's true.
Messed up. I saw some pictures from tonight. Do you know who was in one of the pictures? What former Sabres player do you think was at Byram's wedding?
At Byram's wedding. He's only been here for 2.5 years.
He may or may not be on the roster. He might not.
He might not?
Mm-hmm. Former teammate of
Peterka?
Bowen Byram's. No.
Former
Canadian teammate.
Cousins?
Dylan Cousins was there. As was Josh Norris, which was pretty funny. They definitely had like a 5-minute conversation, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely talked a little.
Yeah, so that was funny. I saw that picture floating around. But, yeah, it's Josh Doan, man. Both Kesselring and Peterka gone, just like that. I give Utah a little bit of props there. Like, you could tell that just... I don't want to say it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't a good fit, but like the regular season was like, okay, maybe it just took a year. Still at 47 points. Like, they had a good year. But man, he was brutal for them in the playoffs. He was horrible. Directly cost them, I mean, what? There was, in the span of 2 games, he gave away the puck for a shorthanded goal. And then the next night, he was on the ice for a shorthanded goal, which was the overtime winner for Vegas. And then in game 6, he was on the 4th line. Yeah, that very, very quick divorce. So I give Utah props just for moving off of it, getting some first-round picks.
Yep.
I think it's always better to just get ahead on that. It's funny, you're seeing so many teams get ahead of stuff recently. Like, they are not waiting. I'm sure you got your cases of, like, I don't know, maybe Hellebuyck's evidence of it, or maybe Dylan Larkin's evidence. I guess Larkin's like the one where it's like he asked for the trade request instead of maybe they could have had that conversation a year or two ago. But Tkachuk, they got ahead of it. The Sabres got ahead of Byram. Now with the Peterka thing, you could say the same thing about trying to think of a few other deals that have gone down. I don't know. It feels like teams are being very proactive. So
yeah,
props to Utah, I guess. And now JJ Peterka back in the Atlantic Division. Boston.
Back with Casey
I don't know.
Middlestat.
I think that's a weird fit.
Agreed completely.
I think it's a hell. Hey, it's a hell. I think it's probably Pasternak's most talented winger in a little bit. I feel like maybe
Boston
since
Marchand
needed
help. They
need
definitely need forward help.
They need scorers. Peterka will provide some of that. I like that bet for them. But
they're not really like a rush offense though. Like that's what he's good at.
That's my thing. Like Sturm, I like the fit for the team.
He's not good defensively.
I don't know if I like the fit for the system.
Yeah.
He's all right defensively. He had one horrible season with Buffalo. Otherwise, he was fine. I don't think he's any worse defensively than Casey Middlestat.
Well, fair point.
So, yeah, that'll be interesting. Peterka, Middlestats, and Yoki Haru.
Yep.
All right, have we missed anything?
We mentioned it briefly earlier. Sebastian Cossa went for a first-round pick. Don't know. I feel like that's good for the Levi trade.
I think it impacts it. I don't think they're going to get a first.
No.
For a second, when Ottawa was coming up on the board at 25, I thought maybe. But no, obviously that didn't happen.
I've been expecting like a fourth or a fifth for Levi. Now maybe it's a third or a second, which I think is good. I mean, we don't have a second or third. If we could get back into one of those,
sure. I could easily see them trading back into the second or third round.
Yeah,
tomorrow. I think that'd be a good move.
Mm-hmm.
Good bet. All right.
I think I've exhausted just about everything.
We are never beating the "we go longer without Christian" allegations.
He misses some big episodes.
This is true. I was upset. I was like, you know what? 1 year ago today, we were watching him pound beers like it was nothing on our live stream.
Yep.
Look at how far we've fallen. Look at what he's done. No, but big episode, and he deserves his vacation time.
Yes, he does. I thought of one more thing. It's not Sabres roster related. Gary Bettman was in the new Bills stadium, and Pete Welly tweeted out "shoot side twice" or something along those lines. They're definitely getting some sort of game this year.
Yeah, like this. I feel like they've been talking about this for like 3-4. We're obviously getting a winter or a outdoor game in 2028. So that's pretty obvious.
Yeah. Heritage Classic game probably,
or Stadium Series. I don't know. Blame the Bill. You know what? I know what I have to do. I don't know if I have the strength to do it to get a Winter Classic game back in Buffalo.
No. Because
it's not.
Let's look at the Bills schedule.
It's not just the Bills might the Bill could they maybe be in the playoffs? No, you can't play. They need to be out of the playoffs. Like it's not even a chance. So you have to have some uncomfortable conversations for that to happen.
They are home week 18, but
week 2028.
2028?
That's when it would be, right? 20th anniversary.
Isn't 20th this upcoming year?
January 1st, 2008.
January 1st, 2008?
Yeah.
I guess so.
I know it's late, but This is my point. We need this year to go off the rails for Winter Classic.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
How about no?
If you don't care about the Winter Classic, that's fine. We can move on. But if you want it, there's only one path to it.
How about no? You can coordinate
I
NHL and NFL schedules.
What did What did the 07 Bills finish? Like, was playoff scheduling different back then? I don't know if that was like one of like the 4 and 13 years, or if that was. I feel like it probably was, right?
They went 7-9. And let's see. They would have played. They played at Philly December 30th. Their last home game was December 23rd. So there's a week and a half.
Sounds possible to me.
Yeah.
Oh, well. You know what? We should we didn't bring it up. So the draft tonight. First of all, what did you think about the draft compared to last year?
I mean, better. I mean, last year was awful. So better than last year.
Last year was one of the worst things I think I've ever had to watch.
Yeah, that was brutal. That was as fun as we had live streaming. It just kept going on and on and on. Granted, we weren't as locked in this year. Like when we were live streaming, we were just watching the draft and talking. This year, me and Jonah had other plans, so it was kind of going by faster for us. But I mean, last year was just bad. The 3 minutes I think was good this year, but they didn't stick to that. Like they just didn't. Like they would have interviews and then put it in.
The draft ended at like 11:15. It still went 4 hours. I'm sorry. It doesn't need to be this long.
It's not the NFL draft. Like
it's not. And like the first, up until the Sabres picked, it was those first 3 picks were okay. I would say the first 2 picks were torture.
It started late too.
It always starts late.
Yeah,
but I'm sorry. Like I think Emily Kaplan tweeted it like halfway through the day that there was going to be a celebrity making the Leafs pick, and like it was pretty obvious it was going to be Bieber. But then they just, I don't know, they cut to him in the middle of the arena, and then he makes. As funny as like it was funny, and I think it's not a. I don't think lowly of Bieber. He was just being himself the way he announced it. But I'm sorry, that's the worst first overall draft selection I've ever seen in my life, and it's funny. And I enjoyed it, and like it's so bad it's good way. It just kind of delegitimizes the sport. You got the biggest team in the league, in the sport. Aside from, I mean, you can make your case, right? Canadians, Rangers, whoever. But from a certain point of view, you have the biggest team in the sport making the first overall draft pick. Like all eyes are on them. There's Leafs fans flooding the arena to watch this, and they tried to make like a sideshow out of it. Why is Justin Bieber in a draft? Why is he in the interview with Gavin McKenna minutes later?
That was crazy.
What are they doing? Who pitched that? Who pitched that? And how can I get them fired from the NHL?
It was bad. If I were McKenna, you have to embrace it, but man, I'd be kind of embarrassed. Like, come on. And even this is my big moment.
I think the draft should be a very formal event. I do. I think it should be a little bit more buttoned up. I love Josh Stone. I love Dion Dawkins. I don't know if I needed the 5-minute spiel at the beginning, but I get it. You got to promote the city. Do what you do. It was fine. They didn't overstay their welcome too much, in my opinion, but I'm sure other fans felt differently. But yeah, and then the San Jose Sharks presenter, I think took a while at number 2, and then I don't know. It just took there should be a way to shave off an hour off this thing. You should be able to average 10 picks an hour.
Yeah. Even the Sabres, I love Thurman, but we couldn't get someone Sabres related.
we had Bettman presenting Dawkins and Doan, who then presented Thurman Thomas to then present the draft pick.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. And, like, you know what? If you're going to bring in a Bills player, I mean, Dawkins is very well known. Like, for an offensive lineman, he's very well known. If you're going to bring in a Bills player, can you get Josh Allen at least? Like, come on, Terry Bagula, pull some damn strings. Go get your star quarterback.
You're paying him. You've guaranteed the man $250 million. I think he can say a few words at your arena.
I know he's a new dad, but, like, come on. He transcends the NFL now.
It can't be hard for him to get
Seinfeld.
It can't be hard for him to get babysitting. I'm willing to bet he could take the night off. Is he in Buffalo? Is he living here? Is he in Cali right now? Where is he?
He's definitely in Cali right now. I would assume. I don't know for sure, but
wasn't in Buffalo. He just doesn't like showing up in the city. You know, he plays for the Buffalo Bills, but he plays for the Orchard Park Bills. He just doesn't want to be seen in town.
He comes to Sabres games.
He's come to one in the last 5 years.
I don't know. Whatever. It was better than last year, but it is like, as I'm thinking through it, I'm like, they should just do what the NFL draft does. Like, their commissioner does the first round pick, so it's a big moment for the players, going out, shaking the commissioner's hand. At the same time, like, the NHL does have to do stuff to bring other fans in, unfortunately.
I don't know. Do they? It's the draft. Casual fans like, I'm going to watch the NHL draft. This is the the draft. This is not the event. I think you have to try and grow this. That's why the NFL does it. They bring in the celebrities for day 2 because they know viewership's not going to be as high.
Yeah. What'd you think of the couches in the middle of the ice then going up?
It's a cool setup.
I thought it was interesting.
It probably beats your basic. Last year there was what was it, stadium? It was like you were sitting in shades essentially. Like, it was just stadium seating. Yeah. That's the other thing. I'm glad it's back in an arena this year.
Definitely,
it's where it belongs.
Oh, bringing up Dawkins and Doan. Did it also pain you that they did the friggin' shout song in an NHL event? I think that's one of our biggest pet peeves of this podcast. The shout song is a Bills thing. It's not really a Buffalo thing.
I didn't hate it. Okay, I felt bad. Doan was just kind of sitting there awkwardly. Yes. I don't think he wanted to
no.
It's
not a Sabres thing.
I thought it was okay, only because it clicked in my head. There's a lot of Leafs fans there. Chances are they're also Bills fans.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. It's not a Sabres thing. It's a Bills thing.
I know. Hey, you don't have to tell me that. You know how I feel about that chant being done in that building.
Yeah.
But if it's a Buffalo Bills player doing it at the same time, I feel different.
Yeah.
It's when Todd from Cheektowaga stands up in the second period and starts trying to get his section to get it going.
Yeah.
While the Sabres are down 2-0 to the Calgary Flames.
Yep.
There's levels to it. All right. Is that everything?
I think so. We'll see how tomorrow goes. We don't pick until the 4th round, pick 124. Got some time. We only have, 4 picks tomorrow? 3 picks? 4, 5, and
3 picks, yeah.
4, 5, and
4,
6.
5th, and 6, yeah.
I think we'll get another pick with the Levi trade. But yeah, I mean, tomorrow, they don't even have the assets to go get another forward. I feel like that's, unless you're trading Murtka, but
they have future first. I think
it better be for someone good.
It won't be if they were gonna get a Robertson, Robertson's off the table. Not that he was ever on it, but that was a deal they could only do with the 4th overall pick. Hellebuyck, I think for now is off the table because that was only a deal you were going to do with the 4th overall pick. I don't think Knies is being moved, but I feel like that deal could still be done without your picks from today. I think similarly about Marchenko, I don't think that's a trade you need to get done with 4th overall, although I think that doesn't get done without saying goodbye to Osland or Hellenius or something like that. So I don't know. I guess my thing is we were talking about this today, how I would have to find what were we it was right after Zellweger happened, and we were talking about how the focus should shift to replacing Tuch, or at the very least you need to do it. And I want to find the exact back and forth that we had. The summation of it was, I think the Sabres need to aim a little high for a Tuch replacement. You'll need to aim sky high, but I think you had sent a tweet that like brought up like Dmitry Voronkov as like an idea, and I'm like, that's good. He's a good player, but it feels like a Zellweger type move. Where like I think you can be cheap and go with the under the hood, really solid player to replace a Bowen Byram, because I think Byram was a bit of a, he scored a lot this year, and I feel like we know he's not in player with a ton of positive offensive play driving metrics. Tuch has the metrics, and he produced, and I think that's not someone you can't replace him in the aggregate, sort of. I mean, you'll try to an extent. I don't think they're going to get somebody as good as Tuch, but I think you should at least aim a little high. Like, I think you should splurge. Like, you should try really hard. Now that becomes a different conversation if they go out and land Hellebuyck, because that's going to burn up a lot of their assets, and then you're probably going to be asked to try and get smart and creative with the Tuch replacement. But if you don't, and you still have all your first-round picks, you have Radim Murtka, you have all this cap space, yeah, maybe I'd like to see something a bit bigger. But
I was just going to say, we got $13.8 million. Got to use, close to $10 million of that.
I would agree. I'm curious to see how they approach free agency. If they approach it, there's not a lot left, but it's like, is there anything they're searching for that's going to be there for them?
Yeah.
I don't know. We say this every year, and it's funny because now we're doing it with Kekäläinen. I hope we don't get to free agency and a top 6 edition isn't made. Then everybody might start freaking out.
I mean, that was my number one goal going into this offseason, replacing Tuch, and I feel like the chances of that have gone down just because we made 4-20. But time will tell. We'll see.
Yep.
We still got assets to use.
Yep. All right. Should we sign off?
You don't want to get to the 3-hour mark? How do you want to be up editing this?
Or getting close to 2 a.m. here, so not much longer. What time does the draft kick off tomorrow?
11 a.m.
11 a.m. Ooh, this might be tough. Close.
We won't
begin my 8 hours.
We won't be picking until.
This is a good point.
12:30.
This is true.
12:45.
Should we
best.
go? We do have the tickets. We pop in for the 4th round.
Yeah, pop in for pick 124.
Yeah, I was a little. I guess it would have been nice to be there tonight, but at the same time, oh well.
Agreed.
All right, I think we should shut this thing down. Folks, if you made it this far, thank you very much for listening. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at the Sabre Report, also on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at the Sabre Report. If you listen to this on YouTube, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Tell us what you thought down in the comments. Holy cow, there's a lot to talk about. Give me more thoughts on Bowen Byram removed from that trade. What you think about Tuch finally departing, the Olen Zellweger deal. Tell me what you thought about Daxon Rudolph. What you think about Ilia Morozov. What do you think about the Hellebuyck rumors? What do you think about everything? What do they have to go after still? How are you feeling about the team currently? Would love to hear what you have to say. So be sure to do that. And on top of that, if you want updates for the podcast, you can follow us on Twitter at Sabre Report Pod. Go give our friends over at the Buffalo Sports Talk podcast a listen. As always, they do great stuff. We also do want to take this second to thank our patrons, patreon.com/the Sabre Report. We want to thank our Nuggets tier patrons and our Tendies tier patrons, specifically Derek Bastricki, Zach Benson, Grant Budney, Tajin Slug, Nick Santos, Nathan Little, Tim Z, Jimbo Jim Jimothy, and NH Tank 36. Your support is very much appreciated. Could not do this without you guys. So once again, thank you. All right. Same time tomorrow night after a big move.
We'll see.
I guess
for me, it would be another late one. So we'll see what happens. Even during the day. So. I mean, hey, if something happens during the draft, we can do something.
I could see it. What was it, 2-3 years ago? What was it? Remember, like, the day 2 started, and, like, before the second pick of the draft, we found out, Utah just traded for Mikhail Sergachev.
Yeah.
After, I think, I think? Wasn't that that was the draft where everybody hyped up, there's going to be a ton of drafts, or a lot of pick swaps, all this and that, and 0 trades happened the first time in like 15 years. And we were all pissed. And then the next day, bang, Sergachev to Utah.
Yeah. Well, it was first back Malenstyn to the Sabres, and then Sergachev to Utah.
Then Sergachev.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't forget about that. Yeah.
Yep. All right. That'll do it. Thanks again for listening, folks, one last time. Take care. And as always, go Sabres.
Go Sabres.